Chapter 1649. The perfect plan. Beichen Ing looked in the direction of Su Luo's gaze. This glance made goosebumps appear all over his body. Oh my god! What are those? Are all those densely packed things ants? Beichen Ing cried out in alarm. Su Luo used the gaze of looking at an idiot to glance at him, her lips twitching speechlessly. What do you think? The one running in front is a little fox. Beichen Ing screamed excitedly. The little fox is about to be overtaken. Quickly run, quickly run. Rest assured, I have already put the little fox's speed in my calculations. Running over here is not a problem. Su Luo told him in annoyance. Nangong Luyan was happy and found this funny as he patted Su Luo's head. These rows of scuttling hidden-eyed purple spiders were really too many. If they were to attack from the front, at that time, if they fled in all directions, it wouldn't be easy to tidy them up. As a result, Nangong Luyan left a sentence for Su Luo in a low voice, and in an instant, his figure then disappeared in place. Where did Nangong go to? Beichen Ing opened his eyes wide. His eyes were at a loss. At this critical time, Nangong, this main force isn't here. What were they to do? Watching as the hidden-eyed purple spiders came over grandly, Su Luo's eyes revealed a cautious expression. Beichen Ing and Zi Yan also had serious expressions as they entered the state of preparing to battle. 5,000 meters. 1,000 meters. 500 meters. Just at this critical moment, the little fox with a swoosh sound leaped into Su Luo's arms. And in the next instant, Su Luo put the little fox into her space. Su Luo believed that if she let the little fox stay outside, it would definitely be skinned and have its tendons pulled while being torn into pieces by these hidden-eyed purple spiders. After the little fox disappeared, these hidden-eyed purple spiders immediately became rash. They angrily gave a low roar, raging but also helplessly circling in place. Just at this time, behind the area of hidden-eyed purple spiders, one after another, lightning intertwined into a net, making loud crackling sounds. Draw back, quickly draw back. Su Luo recalled Nangong Luyan's explanation, and pulled Beichen Ing and Zi Yan to quickly retreat. Thunder and lightning had no eyes. If they were within the scope of the attack, they inevitably would receive some of the effects. The hidden-eyed purple spiders weren't fools. They lifted their heads and saw the approaching lightning like a torrential rush. Then each and every one of them gave loud shouts. Where did the little fox go? All the hidden-eyed purple spiders' brains were thinking of this matter. Just at this moment, the roaming dragon lightning were like whips and suddenly attacked below. A countless number of lightning rushed below, like concentrated feathered arrows, making it impossible for people to guard against, let alone to say these low IQ hidden-eyed purple spiders. Swish, swish, swish. One after another, dragon snakes flashed by, and a countless number of hidden-eyed purple spiders were flipped over in place. The unlucky hidden-eyed purple spiders that had been directly hit died on the spot. Their bodies broke apart into pieces scattering on the ground. One after another, white flower-like stones tumbled out of their forehead. The slightly luckier ones, their bodies were hit by the sparks from the lightning, giving off a scorched flavor from their bodies. The smell was very pungent. Once Nangong Luyan released this move, 1/3 of the hidden-eyed purple spiders fell. Seeing these hidden-eyed purple spiders that had been drawn over with great difficulty were about to flee in all directions, Su Luo immediately gave the order. Guard your direction well, don't let them flee. At the same time, Su Luo's hand waved. The little stone appeared in place. Now at such a critical junction, she naturally must invite out this honorable large Buddha, the little stone. The little stone speechlessly glanced at Su Luo, then indifferently slanted his gaze away. He didn't say a word, directly undertaking the task of fighting. At this moment, not only did Su Luo invite out the little stone, she even pulled out the acacia tree. The acacia tree had many green vines with many luxuriant leaves. When fighting, it was extremely useful. But Su Luo only told it to do one thing. Think of a way to stop these hidden-eyed purple spiders, don't let them run away. Before the variant acacia tree could reply, Su Luo's figure had already disappeared in place. Stop them. The variant acacia tree didn't have other methods. The only method it had was the most coarse and effective one. One only saw its root system quickly take root in the loose sandy soil. The root system quickly extended into all directions in the lower layer of the soil and grew larger. At the same time, the branches and leaves on the trunk also extended out quickly. One only heard swoosh sounds, and when Su Luo turned to look once again, she saw that a thick fence had been built all around. The variant acacia tree had already fenced in everyone, and all the hidden-eyed purple spiders. Good. Su Luo praised from her heart. With this fence made by the tree, they could close the door and hit the dog one, and catch all of these hidden-eyed purple spiders in one go. Only the variant acacia tree passed on words to Su Luo, saying such things consumed a huge amount of energy. At most, it could only hold it for a stick of incense's time. A stick of incense's time? It's more than enough. Su Luo smiled brilliantly. Soon after, she rushed into the crowd of hidden-eyed purple spiders and began to battle like the little stone. At this moment, the enemy were all around, don't need to worry about accidental injury, so Su Luo broke out all of her strength. Fireball, column of flame, blazing fire, sea of fire, boiling hot fire element seemed to make the temperature rise to a high state. A countless number of hidden-eyed purple spiders that had fallen into the trap howled in rage, hissing and rolling about on the ground in pain. But no matter how they rolled about, the fire on their bodies still couldn't be extinguished. Burning and flaming, the more it burned, the bigger it got. Having been fenced in by the variant acacia tree, these hidden-eyed purple spiders had nowhere to escape. They panicked and chose to escape below ground, and formed a circle in 2s and 3s. They attacked in groups at Su Luo's group. At this time, Su Luo's eyes suddenly lit up. She loudly called out to Ziyan and Bei Chening. "You guys quickly come over." Bei Chening wasn't very happy the battle was interrupted, but couldn't suppress the curiosity in his heart. He still eagerly ran over. "What are you doing, what? In the midst of such a lively fight, I've already gotten rid of 15 spiders, ah." Su Luo rolled her eyes at him in exasperation. "Merely 15, is it really worth being so proud of? If we work together, I guarantee you both will kill heartily and fast like lightning." Now Ziyan had already come over and was obediently standing in front of Su Luo, listening to this. Unlike Bei Chening, who had too much nonsense to say. "You have more medicinal pills to supplement?" Bei Chening's gaze flickered brightly. If he ate medicinal pills that had great supplementary properties, in an instant, his strength would be promoted. Then, wouldn't killing these hidden-eyed purple spiders be as easy as stepping on ants? Su Luo rolled her eyes in annoyance at him. "If I had some, I would have taken it out earlier. Why would I wait until now? Then if there is nothing, I'll leave first." Bei Chening pretended to be disappointed and turned to leave. According to common sense, since Su Luo asked him over, she would certainly call out to stop him. But what disappointed him was that not only didn't Su Luo stop him, she simply ignored him. She only talked to Ziyan. "Let us work together." Su Luo laughed and said. Once she said this, a transparent virtual image suddenly appeared and enveloped the hidden-eyed purple spider closest to them. Ziyan had a doubtful expression on her face. These virtual images were about 10 square meters in size, close to transparent. But if one were to observe carefully, one would find that the space inside the virtual image was slightly wrinkled. "Go in." Su Luo hinted that Ziyan should enter nothingness of space, and she again explained saying, "Now these hidden-eyed purple spiders' strength have been lowered by 50% by me. If you rush in now, I guarantee you'll kill one with one cut, no mistake about it." Su Luo's nothingness of space was almost useless against a 10th-ranked expert, but these hidden-eyed purple spiders were only 7th or 8th rank. Therefore, the effect was exceptionally good. Su Luo only used a slight bit of strength, and their strength were weakened by more than half. Ziyan, seeing this, was almost struck dumb, and mumbled to ask, "Strength weakened by more than half?" Soon after, her gaze landed on those large group of hidden-eyed purple spiders' body. Sure enough, she discovered that these hidden-eyed purple spiders' movements were slow, and their heads seemed foolish and sluggish. Not waiting for Ziyan to return to her senses, Su Luo had already rushed in, waving Changing's sword. One only saw Su Luo lift the Changing sword up high, then heavily hack down. Immediately, a cold sword afterimage streaked across in an arc. One only heard pop, pop sounds, and soon after 3 hidden-eyed purple spiders that were lined up in a row had their heads cut off. It was tossed out up high and after landing on the ground, rolled back with force. Ziyan opened her eyes until they were perfectly round. She foolishly watched Su Luo, wanting to say something but not knowing what she ought to say. Bei Qining was the first to return to his senses. He used large strides to rush over, wanting to hug Su Luo's leg. But Su Luo pushed him away in annoyance. Go, while their speed is slowed down right now, quickly kill. How many there are, is how many you will kill. Those heads are all treasures, ah. Hearing this, Ziyan and Bei Qining became extremely excited. Each of them took out cold swords from their space and rushed over, brandishing the swords. These hidden-eyed purple spiders were enveloped by Su Luo's nothingness of space. Their speed and strength had been decreased by more than half. At this time, their strength was around 6th rank. With regards to the current Ziyan and Bei Qining, what did 6th rank count as? They were merely things that would turn into powder after one sword hack over. As a result, the two people, one on the right side and the other on the left side, brandished their cold swords and did their best to kill these spiders. Until they really made the moves, only then did the two of them understand what Su Luo meant by the hidden-eyed purple spider's strength having been halved. Because now, in their eyes, these hidden-eyed purple spiders were slow-moving, lifeless little things that gave no resistance. When their hands rose and fell, they were able to get rid of at least 2. When their luck was good, they could kill 3 or 4 at once. This was so much more efficient than before. Before they still had to fight. If they were surrounded by the hidden-eyed purple spiders, their lives might be in danger. But now they completely didn't need to think about these things. As long as they mechanically brandished the cold swords, it was as simple as chopping meat. Rustling sounds resounded all around nonstop, and the deep purple shell of heads flew in all directions. All around was all kinds of rustling and muddled sounds. Very quickly, this little group of hidden-eyed purple spiders were all killed. With a wave of Su Luo's hand, the shell of the heads that were scattered on the ground all went into her space. She smiled and said, "Now there isn't any time to pick and choose one by one. Wait until we are finished to talk about it." Because these hidden-eyed purple spiders had their heads cut off, so the white stones didn't explode out. If they were to go do this trifling matter, they would waste a lot time. Ziyan and Bei Qining both expressed their approval. With the experiences from last time, Su Luo and their coordination was even better. With a wave of Su Luo's hand, nothingness of space had just enveloped over when Ziyan and Bei Qining ran in, as if staking their lives on it. With speed fast as lightning, the swords in their hands were lifted up high, ruthlessly chopping down. Su Luo also rushed into battle with them. As a result, in less than several seconds of time, these several tens of hidden-eyed purple spiders once again were all declared dead. After collecting all the skulls that fell to the ground, the group of people once again majestically rushed to the next group. Like this, outside there was the fence formed by the variant acacia tree. Inside, there was Su Luo's nothingness of space to assist. The three people's rapport had no gaps, full of tacit understanding. Their efficiency was faster by more than tenfold. They were battling here, and Nangong Luyan, who was in the back, also didn't relax. Now it looked as if his whole body was wrapped in lightning, his 3,000 strands of black hair that were draped over his shoulder. Each strand was like a lightning dragon god, flickering with radiance. It looked as if the lightning and thunder were flickering, giving people a strong sense of an intense attack. Now his finger would point, and the place the finger pointed at would have a countless number of roaming dragon-like lightning exploding out. As a result, that group of hidden-eyed purple spiders that gathered together would be swallowed by lightning, igniting into a huge ball of fire. Soon after, Nangong Luyan would point in another direction. His finger seemed to have a world-deterring strength, as if his pointing was pointing at the entire world. Even the distant mountains seemed to bow down as servants shuddering endlessly. Like this, his efficiency alone was faster than Su Luo's side of 3 people. This battle seemed very long. But in fact, from the little fox drawing the hidden-eyed purple spiders over to Nangong Luyan rushing to the rear to make his move, then until Su Luo thought of a method to work together, until in the end, all the hidden-eyed purple spiders were wiped out. Only a cup of tea's time had passed. After all the hidden-eyed purple spiders were killed, The variant acacia tree's huge root system withdrew. Even the roots of the tree that reached the sky were withdrawn. It changed back into a human-sized little sapling. Su Luo happily stroked the little sapling. This time, your performance is very good. You go in by yourself, go drink some spring water, and recover some spirit force. The spring water Su Luo was talking about naturally was high-grade celestial spirit water. The leaves of the variant acacia tree rubbed Su Luo's face. Soon after, it obediently entered her space. This time, it had indeed put in a great deal of effort, almost completely using up its spirit force. It needed to hurriedly restore its spirit force, because the little master would very quickly conduct the next battle. This time, it being able to help the little master made the variant acacia tree very excited. After flying into her space, the variant acacia tree directly took root at the side of the high-grade celestial spirit water. The roots crawling to the mouth of the spring. Rumble, rumble. It started to absorb the high-grade celestial spirit water. In a short while, the spring water had lessened by 1/3. Fortunately, after absorbing 1/3, the spring water very quickly returned at a speed that the naked eye could see, filled to the brim. Outside of the space, Su Luo's group was very happy. Bei Chening was the most excited as he pulled at Su Luo's sleeves, repeatedly urging, "Quickly, quickly, quickly take it out to count. Wait until we've finished, then count, okay?" Although Su Luo was also looking forward to it, but she could still restrain herself. "Count, count, let's count, Bei Chenying's body twisted this way and that, pulling at Su Luo and not letting go. Okay. Count, then count, Don't pull at me, Su Luo pushed Bei Chening away. Immediately after, a white light flashed by, and piece after piece of hidden-eyed purple spiders' heads appeared on the desert sand before them. Su Luo released a flame on it. As a result, these heads very quickly were burned into black carbon. Soon after, Nangong Luyan released his light breeze technique. As a result, all the ashes were blown away. Only piece after piece of sparkling and pure white stone remained behind. Under the sunlight, it radiated a light that pulled at people's hearts. Wow, so many. This time's harvest was more than any other time before. It was so much more that Bei Chening exclaimed in astonishment. Estimated roughly there are, Su Luo muttered half to herself. I'll count. Su Luo hadn't finished calculating before Bei Chening had already thrown himself over. His eyes flickered with the light of a miser. Ziyan followed up in annoyance, and followed him to crouch down on the ground to count. Su Luo and Nangong Luyan stood in place. Su Luo was just about to say something when she saw Nangong Luoyun's brows wrinkle slightly and said to Su Luo, "Put him back." He pointed to the little stone wearing the skin of elder ancestor Mo. Su Luo had no time to think carefully. With a wave of her hand, the little stone entered her space. Before Su Luo could ask, she saw 3 figures quickly flying towards them. It's Dongfang Xian's group. Didn't expect that their speed would be so fast and actually rushed over. Su Luo looked at those 3 figures in annoyance. With regards to these 3 people, she never had any favorable impression, especially Dongfang Xian. Dongfang Xian was dressed elegantly in white clothing, a fine young master's appearance in trouble times. He hurriedly walked over, his gaze looked at the ground, and immediately, rays of light flashed from his eyes. "Oh, lots of white stones. It seems your harvest this time is very big." Everyone at the scene ignored him. Su Luo simply pulled Nangong Luyan to crouch down to count the white stones together. Fortunately just now, Nangong Luyan had already sensed them coming over, to let her put away little stone. Otherwise, if the little stone was exposed, the consequences would be very serious. Because the little stone was draped in elder ancestor Mo's skin. But there was an age restriction in people entering the secret roaming dragon territory. Elder ancestor Mo had absolutely exceeded the highest limit on a person's age. Therefore, it was impossible for him to enter. But if Dongfang Xian was to see the real elder ancestor Mo, what would he think? At that time, it would trigger a series of troubles later. Therefore, Su Luo decided that in this secret roaming dragon territory, if they hadn't reached the last moment of a life or death crisis, she would absolutely not release the little stone outside. Dongfang Xian saw Su Luo's group simply ignored them. His expression was unhappy and he coldly sneered. So many white stones. What's the use with such bad luck? Isn't it just to give it to the prize drawing machine in vain? How about selling it to me? Dong Fengxian provocatively looked at Bei Chening. The corner of his mouth hooked into a mocking sneer. Bei Chening, not to be outdone, glared back. Betting with Luo Luo 3 times in a row and losing every time. Your Majesty's luck is really really good ah. PFFF. Ziyin couldn't hold back and laughed out loud. But her reaction was very fast. She hurriedly lowered her head and covered her mouth. But that pair of bright crystal-like eyes shining like stars still leaked her current good mood. Dong Fengxian was choked by Bei Chening, such that a mouthful of air couldn't come out. He felt strange. How was it that he would be choked by this group of people time and time again? Dong Fengxian tossed his sleeves in embarrassment. His eyes glared very fiercely at Ziyin. He felt this little junior sister was becoming more and more outrageous, simply a person who ate inside and clung to outsiders. She simply didn't place any importance on him, this first senior brother. How could she be as adorable as his Yao Yao? Dong Fengxian's eyes narrowed very quickly, remembering it in his heart. Ziyin, you are not young anymore, right? Ziyin never expected that first senior brother would suddenly mention the topic. She coldly glared back. First senior brother can't even remember my age? This truth really makes people feel disappointed and sad ah. PFF. Su Luo directly sprayed out her laughter. Ziyin and Bei Chening now each had changed their tone to be sharp and become more eloquent. Every sentence jabbed at the main point ah. The pitiful Dong Fengxian, don't know how he would cope with this. Dong Fengxian's chilly gaze apathetically swept past Su Luo. Soon after, he looked at Ziyin, and the corner of his mouth rose into a deeply sinister sneer. This year, you are 18 years old ah. How could first senior brother not remember it? Oh, Ziyin unhappily agreed. She didn't understand why Dong Fengxian would mention this. But right now, Su Luo felt that the matter didn't seem good. Dong Fengxian asking Ziyin for her age. What did he want to do? Could it be? Before Su Luo could say something to block this, Dong Fengxian then ruthlessly and sinisterly sneered. 18 years old, a very good age. Your senior sister already has a husband's family. It seems it's time to find one for you too. After all, a woman's heart is with her husband. Once you get up there in age, you would lean towards an outsider oh. Ziyin, hearing these words, her eyes frostily glared back at him. Master is in charge of this matter. First senior brother should manage yourself well first. I heard Li Yao Yao is pregnant, and can't be married off. Really lost all face for Jade Lake Palace and Purgatory City ah. Ziyin's words showed no quarter as it jabbed at Dong Fengxian's most painful place. He took a deep breath before he was able to cover the rage boiling over. Dong Fengxian's ruthless and sinister gaze directly shot onto Ziyin's face. Master hasn't returned for many years. Who knows when he will come back? Since I'm first senior brother, then I'll make this decision for you. I heard Jade Lakely family's Liaoqiong isn't bad. You will barely be worthy of being matched to him. Liaoqiong? The Liaoqiong whose cultivation was wasted by Grandmaster Rong Yin to stop forever at the 4th rank? Hearing this, Ziyin's complexion swelled up red. Her ice-cold gaze was like a sharp sword shooting towards Dong Fengxian. Want to marry, you marry him yourself. Take less of my things to talk about. Besides, with third senior brother present, where is there place for you to make the decision? Why don't you think a bit about what kind of strength you have? Ziyin's words really didn't leave him any face, exposing the most sensitive thing of Dong Fengxian's inner heart, immediately putting Dong Fengxian on the spot. As first senior brother, his strength was much weaker than the junior brother who was younger than him. If this was said outside, where would he put his face ah? So Dong Fengxian had always been sensitive about this aspect. Loathsome girl, courting death. Dong Fengxian, in an instant, exploded out with the pressure of a strong expert, ruthlessly shooting towards Ziyin. But before this strong pressure could attack Ziyin's body, an even more powerful pressure crushed this spirit force from Dong Fengxian. Afterwards, everyone saw Dong Fengxian's face turn red. His pair of eyes was bloodshot, glaring at Nangong Luyin like a hungry wolf smelling blood, wishing he could swallow him whole. The corner of Nangong Luyun's mouth hooked up indifferently. His red lips were slightly parted, full of a taunting meaning. Does first senior brother still want to continue? Nangong Liuyun's tone was light as a feather, light as a goose feather. But it made Dongfang Xian's entire body sink into painful circumstances. Not only was his body in pain, his heart was also in pain. Just now, Ziyan said that Dongfang Xian wasn't as good as Nangong Liuyun. Dongfang Xian had just gotten angry, but before he could injure Ziyan, it was crushed back by Nangong Liuyun. Wasn't this naked proof that he Dongfang Xian wasn't as good as Nangong Liuyun? Good, you guys are very good. Dongfang Xian bit his teeth, staring fixedly at this group of people. The corner of Nangong Liuyun's mouth hooked up slightly, both hands crossed behind his back. His body was handsome and straight, calm and composed as he looked at Dongfang Xian. We are very good, First senior brother doesn't need to worry. PFFF. Su Luo's group laughed out loud, but Dongfang Xian almost spit out blood from anger. Dongfang Xian felt he lost a lot of face, so he very fiercely tossed out a sentence. Ziyan, don't worry about not being able to marry. First senior brother will definitely have you marry Li Aoqiong. Finished speaking this, he got back a little of his dignity after he turned his head and walked away. Because he really couldn't stay here any longer, really too much humiliation. But he still hadn't taken a step before he heard a remotely cold and indifferent voice sound out. Dongfang Xian, you are certain you want to court death? The owner of this voice naturally was Nangong Liuyun. Nangong Liuyun, you really want to control this matter? Will you die from not opposing me? Dongfang Xian was close to yelling this. These days he had spent really were full of grievances. Ever since he was suppressed by Nangong Liuyun during that roaming dragon list competition, Dongfang Xian felt that his life had walked into an unlucky period. Whatever he did, it wasn't very smooth. Especially this little junior brother of his and his woman, making him want to slap them to death with one palm strike. Nangong Liuyun's dense, good-looking eyebrows stirred up slightly. He pretended to carelessly sigh. First senior brother, these words are too lacking. How is it that I feel as though that if you don't come looking for trouble with us, you would die? Ziyan was his junior sister, let alone to say that Luo liked her very much. Based on feelings and reason, Nangong Liuyun couldn't just watch without lifting a finger. Aren't you afraid master will blame you? Dongfang Xian glared at Nangong Liuyun in a rage. Once master returns, there is enough to humiliate you. Really? Then let's wait until master returns. See who he will humiliate. Nangong Liuyun had both arms crossed before his chest, his lips hooking up in satisfaction. As long as Luo girl acted spoiled in front of master, even 10 Dongfang Xians weren't enough for master to kill. Now his appearance of as if he held master's power was really laughable. While Nangong Liuyun smiled, he also rubbed Su Luo's head. Nangong Liuyun, are you secure in knowledge of your backing? Dongfang Xian wasn't a fool. When mentioning master, Nangong Liuyun's fully confident appearance let Dongfang Xian see a clue. Oh, you can also see it? Who knew Nangong Liuyun simply didn't have the intent of denying it. Suddenly, an insight flashed through Dongfang Xian's head. He had a premonition, this matter was very important. But as to the specific matter of what it was, he still hadn't understood it thoroughly. Consequently, he wasn't so eager to leave. Instead, he sauntered to in front of Nangong Liuyun, coldly sizing him up, including Su Luo who was snuggled in his arms. His gaze was frosty, deep and sinister, making people's heart go cold. If a person's mental strength was weak, they would have fainted from fear. But Nangong Liuyun and Su Luo's mental strength just so happened to be the strongest. In the end, what knowledge do you have to make you so secure in your backing? Dongfang Xian's thick sword-like eyebrows were furrowed deeply as he questioned in puzzlement. Are you very curious? Nangong Liuyun lightly laughed. He had the confidence of a cat playing with a rat. You say. Dongfang Xian's tone was unprecedentedly good. He was really curious about what Nangong Liuyun's trump card was. Why would he be so certain master would stand on his side? This point really deeply perplexed Dongfang Xian. Nangong Liuyun laughed in spite of himself. He was all smiles as he leaned close to Dongfang Xian's ear. When Dongfang Xian was waiting, full of expectation, he said one sentence. You think I will tell you? Idiot. PFFF. Su Luo laughed out loud on the spot. Nangong Liuyun's mouth was really too poisonous. That was his first senior brother. Dongfang Xian's complexion swelled red in an instant, like a red candle. It made people suspicious, as if the next moment his blood vessels would burst. You. Dongfang Xian's long finger pointed at Nangong Liyun, very fiercely glaring at him, itching to rush up to ruthlessly bite him. Good, very good. You are really good. Since it's like this, then let us wait and see. Finished speaking, Dongfang Xian's figure changed into a stream of light, very quickly disappearing in place. He rushed towards a distant location. Now Luo Haoming and Li Aochen were left behind. The two of them looked at each other in dismay, not knowing what to do. Under Nangong Liuyun's faint smiling mocking gaze, the two exchanged a glance. They immediately followed in the direction Dongfang Xian went and quickly left. Based on strength of the two of them, even fighting together, they wouldn't block more than 10 moves from Nangong Liyun. Let alone to say, both of them had enmity with Su Luo. Based on Nangong Liuyun's very biased and overprotective temper, only heaven knows if he would use this public forum to avenge private wrongs. So it was best they leave. As a result, they came very forcefully but left quietly. Very quickly, all around there was only them again. Just now, that matter was too pleasurable. Bei Qining issued a proclamation that summed up everything. In this world, sure enough, as long as the fist was hard, this was a good reason. Like Nangong Liyun, this kind. Just one sentence would beat down Dongfang Xian's threatening manner. Moreover, it gave him a total defeat and made him flee in disorder. But if Nangong Liyun wasn't here, then what kind of consequences will occur would be very hard to imagine. Fortunately, third senior brother is here otherwise. Ziyan was afraid to even think about it. Master wasn't here, so the weight of first senior brother's words was very high. If he was determined on something, those elders wouldn't be able to stop him. Su Luo pulled Ziyan and consoled her to say, "You should feel assured, even though you have two bad senior brothers that you can't get along with, but your third senior brother will definitely not allow you to marry someone you don't like. What do you say?" The last half of the sentence, Su Luo naturally said this to Nangong Liyun. Nangong Liyun lazily glanced at her, carelessly saying, "Whatever you say goes. You see, isn't it the truth? Don't worry." Su Luo smilingly said, "You just wait until your master returns. I'll get Dongfang Xian to personally kneel down and pour you tea in apology." When she was saying this sentence, Su Luo's heroism reached the sky. Real or fake? Ziyan looked at Su Luo in disbelief. "You can really persuade my master? I'll first tell it to you clearly, my master is very cold. In any case, for so many years, I have never seen him smile. Whoever is within a meter of him will definitely be frozen solid. You really have a way to get near my master, and still can persuade him." The corner of Su Luo's mouth hooked up into a smile. She definitely can't, but this face of hers was the best pass. As long as she appeared, she guaranteed that the master of Purgatory City would give her tenfold the face. So Su Luo said, full of confidence, "This matter definitely will be okay. If you don't believe, just ask your third senior brother." As a result, Ziyan's curious gaze looked towards Nangong Liyun. She didn't need Dongfang Xian to kneel and pour her tea in apology. Only she couldn't understand, why would Luo have so much self-confidence? Was it only because third senior brother liked her? This reason didn't hold water. Nangong Liyun rubbed Su Luo's head, soon after asking Bei Qining, "Did you finish counting?" "Counted everything thoroughly this time. There are 450 pieces." Mentioning this, Bei Qining was very excited. This time's harvest is much bigger than any time in the past. If this happens several more times, then the rewards over there will all be drawn away by us, okay? Nangong Liyun turned to ask Su Luo, "Should we first go back to draw prizes or continue to collect?" Su Luo tilted her head and thought a bit. If they first returned to draw prizes, then it would be difficult to avoid delaying time. Let alone to say, Dongfang Xian's group probably didn't get a lot of white stones. So even if they went back to draw prizes midway, they definitely wouldn't draw a lot of good prizes. In summary, Su Luo decided to spend the 3 days to finish gathering all the white stones, and use the time in the end to go back in exchange for chances to draw prizes. When she said this idea of hers, Bei Chening and the others unanimously expressed their approval. As a result, they started to gather white stones once again. Their method was simple and effective. Just like it was a moment ago, Su Luo used the high-grade celestial spirit water on the little fox's body to attract the hidden-eyed purple spiders. After drawing all the hidden-eyed purple spiders over, then the variant acacia tree went to battle by forming a fence and surrounding them in the middle. After that, Su Luo releases her nothingness of space, one little area at a time, to conduct cleaning up of the spiders. As a result, in less than 1 hour, they were able to exterminate all the hidden-eyed purple spiders. This method was quick and convenient. But not long after, they encountered a hindrance. This time, when the little fox ran out, Su Luo didn't follow. Because this matter, the little fox had done it many times, and so was used to it. In Su Luo's eyes, there definitely wasn't any danger. As a result, she let the little fox operate alone. But this time, don't know why, the little fox went for a long time and didn't return. Could something unforeseen have happened? Ziyan's brows were tightly puckered up, and was worried about the little fox. Shouldn't be. The little fox and Su Luo had a contract. If it ran across a life-threatening situation, Su Luo naturally could sense it. But Su Luo didn't discover the little fox giving a cry for help. Then why hasn't it returned by now? According to the usual practice before, the little fox would have already run back. Bei Chening stood on tiptoes to look into the distance. But the distant place was full of yellow sand. He couldn't even see the little fox's shadow. Suddenly, Su Luo's eyes narrowed. What's wrong? Bei Chening and Ziyan was just observing Su Luo and asked, exclaiming towards her. The little fox ran into some trouble. Let us quickly go. Just now, the little fox communicated with Su Luo that it was attacked by someone. Su Luo had no time to think. She brought the 3 people and directly teleported over. There was still a little distance, so she put everyone down. Standing on a high hill, one could see several kilometers ahead. Densely packed hidden-eyed purple spiders were encircled into a huge mass. And at this time, they couldn't see the little fox's figure. That person is... Bei Chening cried out in surprise. Dongfang Xian, that bastard. Ziyan directly cursed out loud. Su Luo looked over, following Ziyan's gaze. Immediately she sneered. Wasn't it so? Wasn't that person wearing elegant white clothing Dongfang Xian? Right now. He was lifting up the little fox in his hand, very pleased while looking at this group of hidden-eyed purple spiders. As if these were all the things in his pocket. Not long ago, he was scared away by Nangong Luyan, now he ran back to rob their prey? Was this the rhythm of Dongfang Xian courting death? At Dongfang Xian's side followed Luo Haoming and Liaochen. Now, the 3 formed a triangle and surrounded these hidden-eyed purple spiders in the middle. Then they continuously released elemental attacks. Encountering 10th-ranked experts, these hidden-eyed purple spiders simply had no way to resist. All of them fell into the trap and fell to the ground dead. But after all, they didn't have variant acacia trees' branches and leaves that formed a fence, so the hidden-eyed purple spiders were escaping nonstop, rushing in all directions. Bei Chening, seeing these circumstances, angrily waved his fist. These wastrels! Stupid like a pig. Ziyan, in a rage, and pointed at the important point. They stole our prey. What to do? Should we go or not? Ziyan turned and asked Su Luo. In any case, whatever Su Luo said, 3rd senior brother would agree. So if Ziyan had words, she would directly ask Su Luo to rush up now. On the half of the hilltop, Su Luo's remote and cold eyes were half-narrowed dangerously, looking at Dongfang Xian, who was continuously releasing elemental attacks not far away. The corner of her mouth slowly hooked into a cold smile. How could free labor be so easy to find? Since they want to help, then let them first be busy. 1. Close the door, hit the dog. This probably refers to trapping the enemy and killing them off. I'd welcome any better interpretations. Author, this chapter was really long, okay? Approaching to 10,000 words. Too lazy to split it into different chapters, so simply put it together and released it. If this was split into chapters, it could be split into 9 chapters. So don't always curse this author for only releasing one chapter. But I discovered there are still a lot of readers cursing that I only release one chapter. Really feels being wronged, ah. So in the future, it's best I split it into chapters before releasing. Won't do this kind of foolish thing again. Boohoo boohoo. Translator, I'm crying too. This took forever to translate. Thankfully, the author learned her lesson. Else I will just die from such long chapters. Chapter 1650, Breakup 1. Ziyan followed Su Luo's gaze to look at those three people who were working hard to launch elemental attacks. A countless number of hidden-eyed purple spiders fell to the ground, dead. On the ground laid, one after another, sparkling white stones, looking very attractive. Free labor? Ziyan's lips moved, muttering this to herself. Then she smiled. Since Su Luo said this, then it must be reasonable. Wasn't Dongfang Xian robbing their hidden-eyed purple spiders? In the end, he still needed to spit it out. Thus, the group of four quietly stood like this on the hill, watching Dongfang Xian's side being busy. Dongfang Xian's group weren't fools, such obvious targets. How could they not find out? Frowning, Li Aochen was the first who couldn't stand it. Is it really okay for us to do it like this? Li Aochen was very clear. These hidden-eyed purple spiders were ones they intercepted halfway. From that little fox's body, at a glance, it was definitely Su Luo's without a doubt. Dongfang Xian smiled coldly. If you are afraid, you can leave on your own. No one is forcing you. But you can't take a single one of these white stones away. Dongfang Xian's tone was strong and overbearing, simply wouldn't tolerate dissent. Luo Aoming's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. He disapproved of Dongfang Xian's forceful means, but he didn't want to kill these scattered hidden-eyed purple spiders by himself. Therefore he remained silent, not uttering a word, only burying his head in his work. Li Aochen's gaze swept by the hillside not far away. Nangong Luyin is standing there. The expression in Dongfang Xian's eyes changed slightly, but he immediately sneered. Still that same sentence, if you're scared, you can leave on your own. Li Aochen coldly retracted his gaze. Seeing that they were about to harvest everything, whoever left at this time was a fool. Therefore he simply closed his mouth and released ice blades one after another from his hand, venting all his anger on the hidden-eyed purple spiders in front. Although all three of them were 10th ranked, the speed at which they killed the hidden-eyed purple spiders were really not as good as the combination of Su Luo's group. In the wake of the battle gradually subsiding, Su Luo and Nangong Luyin made their way down the hillside, unhurriedly walking towards the battlefield. Su Luo's eyes were narrowed slightly. A ghost of a smile hung at the corner of her mouth with cold intent, as she, in an icily arrogant manner, looked at them. Dongfang Xian saw Su Luo's willful and brash appearance, and immediately, don't know where the rage came from. One insignificant 9th rank actually dared to strut around in front of him. According to his temper from before, he absolutely would send a palm strike to slap the opponent to death. But from his peripheral vision, he saw Su Luo with the inseparable Nangong Luyin, and Dongfang Xian, who was in extreme anger, with great difficulty swallowed this. 10 years is not too late for a gentleman's revenge. Moreover, wait and see. Dongfang Xian secretly swore in his heart. Hey, there are a lot of hidden-eyed purple spiders here. It's really tempting looking at them. Su Luo's hands folded over her chest, the corner of her mouth was raised slightly, hooking into a ridiculing arc. Dongfang Xian sneered, too lazy to be bothered with Su Luo. The other two people also didn't speak, continuing to do the work at hand, because there were still 50 hidden-eyed purple spiders that were going around in circles with nowhere to hide. Yes, these hidden-eyed purple spiders look very familiar, Luo, wouldn't you say so too? Ziyan and Su Luo had full rapport. The two followed each other's words like a double act. Not only are the hidden-eyed purple spiders familiar, I'm even more familiar with this little fox. Su Luo's slender finger pointed at the little fox being confined by Dongfang Xian. Right now, the little fox had both legs upright, with its two little claws forming fists placed under both sides of its chin. Its pair of eyes seemed to have been bathed in water, shining like the stars. It appeared adorable and innocent while having been wronged. Watching it made people's hearts melt. Chapter 1651 Breakup 2. Why did the little fox run over here? Moreover, it seems to be confined. What's going on? Ziyan pretended to be astounded, crying out in surprise. The little fox's leg is hurt? Su Luo's eyes swept over. Just at a glance, she saw that the little fox's leg had been broken. No wonder it was confined in place and couldn't escape. Seeing the little fox being wounded to this degree, Su Luo's face immediately became very ugly. At this time, Dongfangxian and the others had already killed off all the hidden-eyed purple spiders, and were minding their own business, running around to pick up the white stones. This time's harvest is really great, there is at least 300. The corner of Dongfangxian's mouth hooked up proudly, then he said to the two people behind him, "Go, let's find the next place." However, he hadn't walked several steps before Nangong Luyan flashed to his side. Dongfangxian only felt a white light flash in front of him, and a ball of lightning exploded towards his head. Nangong Luyan! Dongfangxian roared in rage. Nangong Luyan's move was very ruthless. This time, without saying anything, he directly hit him. This ball of lightning contained 70 to 80% of his strength, but with regards to Dongfangxian, he needed to stake all his spirit force to resist it. Because when comparing speed, he couldn't match Nangong Luyan. Just when Dongfangxian was stiffly resisting that lightning attack, Nangong Luyan's figure had disappeared in place. When he appeared again, he was already an arm's length away from Dongfangxian. Dongfangxian had firmly resisted the attack. Suddenly, a mouthful of blood rushed up madly from his chest. However, at this time, Nangong Luyan had already floated away, and was standing firmly beside Su Luo. Moreover, the bag he was holding in his hand was the one originally tucked in Dongfangxian's arm. "You tricked me." The corner of Dongfangxian's mouth was stained bright red with blood. He looked at Nangong Luyan with an incredibly sinister expression. Nangong Luyan's autumn moon-like face slowly started to smile. The bright lips parted slightly, but the words that came out could anger a person to death. "Tricked you? This is your honor." Hearing these words, Dongfangxian almost vomited out blood again. He glared fiercely at Su Luo. "Loathsome girl, relying on force to bully others." Su Luo smugly looked at Dongfangxian. "Relying on force to bully others also needs to have power to wield. I feel it's really good." Now thinking about it, the feeling of relying on force to bully others is really good, especially when bullying you, Dongfangxian. Dongfangxian was so infuriated that he nearly fainted, furiously yelling, "You guys are robbers! Stupid, this is called returning to the rightful owner." Su Luo slowly approached him, picked up the little fox, and after carefully examining the wound on her body, the rage in Su Luo's eyes gradually ignited. "Apparently, just returning to the rightful owner is still letting you off too lightly." Right now, Dongfangxian's heart was like a blazing inferno, burning fiercely. He didn't expect that the gap between Nangong Luyan and him would be so huge. He couldn't even meet one of his moves. Afterwards, although he had resisted firmly, not only was he injured, but the hidden-eyed purple spiders from his hard work were taken by them. From small to large, when had he, Dongfangxian, been so wronged? Right now, Dongfangxian's heart was bitter from rage. Dongfangxian, at a glance, could see the situation wasn't good. His eyes were half-narrowed, and his fingers trembled slightly. At this time, Nangong Luyan had already appeared at Su Luo's side. With half of his body protecting her behind him, he stared at Dongfangxian. "Still want to court death?" Nangong Luyan knew that Dongfangxian was holding a commander-level spirit pinball in his hand. At that time, he personally saw Master give it to Dongfangxian. If Su Luo really aggravated Dongfangxian to the extreme, letting him explode the spirit pinball in mutual destruction, at that moment, the consequences would be unimaginable. Chapter 1652, Breakup 3. Therefore, without thinking, Nangong Luyan directly pulled Su Luo behind him, so even if the spirit pinball did explode, she would still be safe within his own protection. Dongfangxian saw a trace of worry in Nangong Luyan's eyes, and his lips couldn't help but hook up as he laughed sinisterly. "It seems that your memory is not bad, third junior brother. What do you want do?" Nangong Luyan's eyes narrowed dangerously, a cold light flashing within them. Return the white stones to me. Dongfang Xian laughed sinisterly repeatedly, his cold tone saying his unreasonable request. Su Luo naturally wasn't willing. She waved her hand, and the white stones which were originally in Nangong Liuyun's hands had already gone into her space. Looking at Nangong Liuyun's empty palm, Dongfang Xian was dumbfounded. After coming to his senses, he became even angrier. Where are the white stones? The white stones can't be given to you. This point you should also understand. Nangong Liuyun's indifferent tone sounded at Dongfang Xian's ear. But it can leave you a life. You. Dongfang Xian almost collapsed from anger. You ought to know that I originally wanted to end your life. Nangong Liuyun's beautiful eyes were shining with light like frost. But now you can live for a few more days. Dongfang Xian angrily glared at Nangong Liuyun. He knew that Nangong Liuyun was telling the truth. If Nangong Liuyun really wanted to kill him, he would die certainly within 3 moves. But now Nangong Liuyun was wary of the spirit pinball, so he let him go. Should I continue to bargain? Dongfang Xian secretly pondered in his heart. Hee, so it turned out that now, first senior brother can't block even one of third senior brother's moves. Isn't first senior brother too embarrassing? Shame, shame, shame. Ziyan laughingly circled around Dongfang Xian. Hearing this, a burst of hot blood rushed up Dongfang Xian's brain again. Hateful. Dongfang Xian's hands clenched into fists, and his sinister and fierce gaze swept Nangong Liuyun and Su Luo's bodies very ruthlessly. Okay, here belongs to you guys. Let's go. Dongfang Xian took large strides away, but the 2 figures behind him did not follow as he expected. Luo Haoming smiled coldly and silently stood in place. Li Aochen saw that Luo Haoming didn't move, and at this time his heart had been thoroughly disappointed with Dongfang Xian. So he also stood in place, smiling coldly at Dongfang Xian's back, not following him. This temporarily formed team was now in danger of disbanding. Dongfang Xian quickly walked a few steps and saw that the 2 people did not follow. The rage in his heart burst out like an oil field. He turned around and stared at Luo Haoming with bloodthirsty eyes, stressing each word. You won't go? Luo Haoming had his arms crossed over his chest. He arrogantly raised his chin and smiled coldly. Why should I go? Luo Haoming was also an arrogant young master. Moreover, he was the previous champion of the roaming dragon list. But now he had become Dongfang Xian's follower. He was already dissatisfied with this result, and Dongfang Xian had let him down again and again. Luo Haoming, even you want to defect? Dongfang Xian sneered repeatedly. Good, very good. Defect. Luo Haoming frowned as if deeply pondering matters. But very quickly he lifted up his eyes, a ridiculing smile flashing through them. When did I become your follower? Where did this defection come from? Dongfang Xian did not expect that this time, Luo Haoming would make such a clean break. He only felt the blood rolling in his chest, as if it was about to blow up his whole chest. Chapter 1653, Breakup 4. Luo Haoming, at the most critical time, you actually hit a person while they were down. I, Dongfang Xian, will remember you. Dongfang Xian's sinister gaze stared at Luo Haoming. Soon after, his gaze shifted to Li Aochen's face. Li Aochen very innocently spread out his hands. A very simple sentence actually made Dongfang Xian's face blush. Because Li Aochen said, Brother Dongfang, you can't even beat your 3rd junior brother. Then what qualifications do you have for us to follow you? Good, very good, you guys, each and every one. Dongfang Xian's finger pointed at everyone at the scene. Because of rage, his fingertips trembled nonstop. You guys remember this, for I, your daddy. If this hatred isn't avenged, then I, this daddy, vows I'm not human. Finished saying this, Dongfang Xian's figure became a black dot in the horizon. It finally quickly disappeared into the vast desert. Once Dongfang Xian left, all around immediately became quiet. Su Luo silently sized up Luo Haoming and Li Aochen. These 2 defecting was outside of her expectations. But them breaking up with Dongfang Xian was a good thing for them. Luo Haoming cupped his fist towards Nangong Liuyun. Just now, the matter of intercepting things, we already offered up all the hidden-eyed purple spiders. Brother Nangong is generous and should be magnanimous. Still hope you will forgive. Although Li Aochen didn't get along with Su Luo, but now, he also accompanied with a smiling expression. He respectfully made his salutations to Nangong Luoyun. Nangong Luoyun's eyes had a trace of ridicule as he casually waved his hand. You guys can go. Luo Haoming and Li Aochen exchanged a glance. Finally Luo Haoming said, even though the two of us cultivation is on the high side, but we still have to ask, don't know if we could. Who knew that before Luo Haoming could mention his request, Nangong Luoyun had already rejected it. No. This word couldn't be more blunt, not giving even a bit of leeway. It could be seen there was no margin for discussion. It was hard to cover the disappointment in Luo Haoming's eyes. This team not only had Nangong Luoyun, this kind of expert at the absolute top, moreover, it had a cute little fox that could attract the hidden-eyed purple spiders. After having the little fox, the mission to kill hidden-eyed purple spiders became very easy. So Luo Haoming originally thought of following this team to muddle along. But he never expected Nangong Luoyun would refuse him so bluntly. Since it's already like this, then we. Before Luo Haoming could finish speaking, Nangong Luoyun slanted him a cold glance. Luo Haoming could only sigh helplessly. Then this person will leave in advance. Luo Haoming, who still had a thread of arrogance, turned and left. Li Aochen saw even Luo Haoming was refused, and he was probably even going to be treated less well. Without mentioning other matters, just the hatred between Jade Lake's Li family and Su Luo, that wasn't something that could easily be defused by several sentences. That was a hatred that only blood would resolve. Li Aochen saw this and felt regret in his heart. He had no choice but to follow Luo Haoming's footsteps to leave. Help? How could the two of them be as awesome as elder ancestor Mo? Bei Qining had both hands at his hips as he disdainfully sneered. Able to betray Dongfeng Xian, how could they not betray us? Let alone to say, if they stayed behind, then elder ancestor Mo wouldn't be able to come out. Then at that time, we would have lost big time. Right now, elder ancestor Mo's strength was at the summit of commander level. Luo Haoming, added together with them, wasn't enough for elder ancestor Mo to kill. If they let Luo Haoming remain, then elder ancestor Mo simply couldn't come out to help. At this moment, Su Luo was treating the little fox's injury. On the outside, the little fox's injury was a ghostly sight, but in fact it could be considered pretty good. The injury didn't reach the muscle and bones. It was merely a superficial wound. The thing Su Luo lacked the least was top-notch medicinal pills, so in order to reward the little fox, Su Luo straightforwardly took out an emperor-level medicinal pill. Chapter 1654, Breakup 5. When Su Luo poured out a translucent and pure medicinal pill, that rich fragrance suddenly spread in all directions. At this moment, the little fox was in Su Luo's arms, its pair of eyes was open very wide, staring at that pill in a dim-witted manner. Based on her instinct as a nine-tailed spirit fox, she knew this absolutely was a top-quality medicinal pill. It had great benefit to her. Not waiting for Su Luo to feed her, the little fox's brilliant red tongue rolled out. In an instant, she swallowed the medicinal pill. Why in such a rush? In any case, this pill is all yours. Su Luo patted the little fox's head in exasperation. Then, she placed the little fox in her space to let her recuperate properly. Having just finished putting the little fox into space, Su Luo never expected that at this moment, some strange change occurred on the little fox's body. Bei Qining saw Su Luo put the little fox back, and with some regret he said, "Without the little fox, our efficiency will slow by a lot." "You're certain?" The corner of Su Luo's mouth hooked up. "So it's not like that?" Bei Qining scratched the back of his head. "Without the lively and frisky little fox, could it be there is another thing to replace it?" "Bei Qining, are you stupid? Don't we still have Yua?" Ziyan's eyes flashed with light. The more she thought about it, the more she loved this idea. "Right. It has to be you. You are very suitable, really. Luo, what do you guys think?" Su Luo never expected that Ziyan could pull the topic onto Bei Qinying's body. Originally, she had another candidate in her heart, but since. As a result, Su Luo had one finger under her chin, unhurriedly walked around Bei Qining in circles while carefully sizing him up. She also nodded her head as she sized him up. If Ziyan didn't say anything, then I might not have noticed. Since she said this, the idea is pretty good. Can't be. Use me as bait? Bei Chenying's pair of eyes opened wide in disbelief. Soon after, he cried out loudly without tears. Can I not do it? This is too embarrassing, right? When Bei Chenying thought his head would be poured a bag of water, then running forward as if his life depended on it while behind him chased a countless number of densely packed hidden-eyed purple spiders. Even thinking about this scene, he felt it was embarrassing. Then how about the two of us draw lots? Whoever draws the lot will go become bait. How about it? Ziyan very kindly proposed. You are not afraid? Bei Chenying weakly asked. It's only natural I'm not afraid. Can it be you are afraid? Ziyan opened her eyes wide. Even a weak female said she wasn't afraid. Then he as a stately macho man would be afraid? Bei Chenying stuck out his neck and raised his chin to firmly shake his head. Draw lots, then just draw lots. Who's afraid of whom? As a result, a contest started and the judge was Su Luo. The way to draw lots was very simple. Su Luo took out pen and paper from space and tore the paper. Then she said to the two of them, between these two pieces of paper, one of them has a circle drawn on it. The one who draws that circle will go become bait. Understand? This rule is very simple. Bei Chenying was somewhat disdainful of Su Luo's IQ. That's right, it's very simple. The odds are 50%. Bei Chenying, you must grasp it very carefully, oh. A crafty smile flashed through Su Luo's eyes. A pity Bei Chenying didn't catch it, to the extent that, in the end, he was endlessly annoyed. Okay, can start now. Bei Chenying continuously urged. As a result, Su Luo rolled the two pieces of paper into balls, then spread out the center of her palm. Her gaze swept back and forth between their faces. The two of you, who wants to draw first? It's only natural the female goes first. Little shadow, you say, am I right? Ziyan smilingly looked at him. Her beautiful eyes were full of smiles. That smile was brilliant and moving. Chapter 1655, Breakup 6. Right on, naturally it's ladies first, you go. Bei Chenying very generously stood in place, laughing happily to say, in any case, each person has a 50% chance. Haha, if you draw it, at that time when water is poured on your hair and upper body, you won't cry, right? Ziyan and Su Luo exchanged a glance, a crafty expression flashing through both people's eyes. The two were full of tactic understanding. Their cooperation was seamless. They were both calculating against Bei Chenying. A pity this foolish child completely didn't know. Nangong Liuyun's eyelids lifted slightly, the corner of his mouth hooking into a ghost of a smile. The gaze with which he looked at Bei Chenying carried a trace of helplessness. Alas, there was nothing one could do if the person was foolish. Ziyan was afraid that if she was late, things would change. At that time, if other things popped up, then it wouldn't be fun. So after she saw Bei Chenying had agreed, she quickly took a ball of paper from Su Luo's palm and pinched it in her own hand. Finished drawing? Are you sure? Bei Chenying raised an eyebrow and smiled. Ziyan's movement was so fast as if someone wanted to fight over it with her. Really was funny. Oh, I finished picking. The remaining one is yours. Ziyan smilingly said. You guys. Bei Chenying's gaze swept from Ziyan's face to Su Luo's face, seeming to have seen a clue. He suspiciously asked, the two of you didn't collude, right? This drawing was done right under your eyes. Even if we wanted to collude, there isn't enough time, right? Su Luo reminded Bei Chenying. Quickly open this lot. Bei Chenying hesitantly and indecisively took that lot Ziyan didn't want. He frowned. Ziyan still hasn't opened hers yet. Ziyan interrupted to say, I don't have the courage to look, so you should open it. When you look at it, then we'll know if it's you who will go become bait or me. Bei Chenying in exasperation looked at Ziyan, then full of confidence, unhurriedly opened the piece of paper. Then when he saw that thick black circle, Bei Chenying was stunned. It couldn't be so coincidental, right? Wow, ha 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 ha, so you drew this circle. Looks like your luck is much better than mine. Then being the bait will depend on you. Ziyan simply didn't open her paper, and directly turned that paper into pieces. Bei Chenying helplessly stretched his body. Today what kind of luck is this? But how was he to know? In the beginning, Su Luo had drawn circles on both pieces of papers. No matter which ball of paper Beichening drew, all of them had the circle. Because of this, the ball of paper in Ziyan's hand also had the circle, so here it would depend on who opened that piece of paper first. Whoever opened the paper first would confirm who was the bait. Then, the second person directly destroyed that piece of paper, and then was naturally the winner. Beichening didn't know that from the beginning, Ziyan and Su Luo had joined together to scheme against him. Watching as Beichening poured a wash basin full of celestial spirit water over his head, then in a bouncing manner, ran over to attract the hidden-eyed purple spiders, Su Luo's tone had some melancholy as she sighed. In fact, from the beginning, I was preparing to let Variant Acacia Tree go. The corner of Ziyan's mouth twitched. Little Shadow is too energetic, let him go. Afterwards, the two ladies that schemed against Beichening together exchanged a glance, soon after bursting into loud laughter. Beichening simply didn't know he was being laughed at by these two misses. Now he was very energetically attracting the hidden-eyed purple spiders. He ran to the east then the west, after making a huge circle. Sure enough, a huge crowd of hidden-eyed purple spiders followed behind his butt. Those hidden-eyed purple spiders' eyes gave off a cold green light, staring at Beichening's but not letting go. Su Luo and Ziyan was extremely curious and looked towards that place on Beichening. Chapter 1656, Break-up 7. When Su Luo and Ziyan saw Beichening's but the two immediately burst into loud laughter. In the end, they almost sat down on the yellow sand from laughing too much. Beichening felt extremely embarrassed. He unhappily glared at the two of them. What are you laughing at? Why haven't you guys made preparations to fight? He was nearly hounded to death, okay? They actually still laughed at him. These two heartless women. Ziyan laughed so much she simply couldn't stop. Tears almost came out. Her tone when speaking was even more disjointed. But what happened? Beichening's handsome and sunny face, at this moment, had a seldom-seen stiffness. He gloomily sat down on the ground, hatefully grinded his teeth. I fell. PFF. Su Luo didn't give him face and laughed out loud. Before, when Beichening left, Su Luo gave him a pot of celestial spirit water. Let him use it according to the situation. But no one told him to pour the celestial spirit water on his butt. Look at the cloth on Beichening's butt. It had almost been scratched into pieces by the hidden-eyed purple spiders. So tattered and hanging on his body, cutting a sorry figure but was laughable at the same time. Beichening, you this fool. Ziyan stopped laughing with great difficulty. Why didn't you change into a new clothing? That didn't bring Even Beichening felt like blushing. With the space bag from Su Luo, but he forgot to bring clothing for himself. This was simply a pig's brain. Beichening had some doubt about his own IQ. Ziyan laughed with ha-ha sounds. Just knew you didn't bring it. Here, take it. Sometimes Ziyan would dress like a man. The clothes she brought would all be very loose. So, she tossed Beichening 2 sets of her male clothing. It was a dark blue robe with a simple pattern, but the texture was very good. Thanks. Beichening caught the clothes immediately, and was all smiles. Fortunately, he had Ziyan's assistance. Otherwise, when they started to battle, he would be battling with his naked but sticking out. After finished changing clothes, Beichening's entire person looked completely new. At this time, the Variant Acacia Tree had already fenced in all the hidden-eyed purple spiders. Fight! Su Luo's hand waved and nothingness of space enveloped the left side group of spiders. Thus, this small team once again started to use flashy moves to kill. Luo Haoming and Li Aochen stood on the hillside far away. Watching the scene of the battle in full swing far away, both of their eyes flashed with complicated lights. High-grade celestial spirit wasted just like this, really a pity. Li Aochen shook his head. He scoffed at Su Luo's practice. But Luo Haoming was considering another problem. Why does their high-grade celestial spirit water seem to be inexhaustible? What's going on? The direction of Luo Haoming's suspicions was correct, but no matter how much he thought, he couldn't understand what's going on. He would never have imagined that Su Luo had space with her. Moreover, Her high-grade celestial spirit water really was inexhaustible, so much so that she could use it to bath or water the plants. Their way of fighting is truly what's called killing, very straightforward. Li Aochen rarely admitted to the true feelings in his heart. I always thought that being Nangong Liuyun's enemy would be a terrifying matter. But now, I finally understand that to be enemies with Su Luo is really what's considered terrifying. Luo Haoming's eyes were half-narrowed as he serenely looked at the lively scene in the distance, and said this magnanimously. Really, Li Aochen somewhat didn't believe it. The hatred between Jade Lake's Li family and Su Luo could only be dissolved by blood or death. If it is possible, it's best to kill your family's Li Yaoyao. Luo Haoming rarely discovered his conscience to warn people. Otherwise, the date for the destruction of Jade Lake's Li family isn't far away. Chapter 1657. Breakup. 8. Li Aochen opened his eyes wide in disbelief. Just based on her Su Luo? It really is based on that loathsome girl. Although Luo Haoming wasn't willing, he still said it. Don't just look at her as a 9th rank. Have you ever thought about how long she spent to become 9th rank? Li Aochen recalled the information on her records, and his gaze gradually became grave. 3 years. In less than 3 years' time, from 0 to 9th rank. That is to say, on average, she was promoted 3 ranks per year. This kind of promotion speed, can you and I do it? Placed in the entire world besides her. Who can do it? Don't let the hot-headed youthful feeling take over. I believe that not long from now, this loathsome girl's brilliant amazing colors will astonish the entire world. Luo Haoming's eyes flashed with light. Li Aochen felt this was inconceivable. Normally, you don't like Su Luo. How is it that now you continuously say good things about her? Luo Haoming helplessly sighed. The circumstances are stronger than the person. Can it be you still can't see the situation clearly? We do not need to talk about her talent. Now behind her stand Nangong Luoyun and Grandmaster Rongyun. These 2 great Buddhas. In the future, to what degree Nangong Luoyun will develop, you and me are both well aware of. How biased Grandmaster Rongyun is towards that girl. We don't need to continue deceiving ourselves. Just say it like this. If you dare to hit that girl, Grandmaster Rongyun will definitely destroy your family and your family's 18 generations' grave. Do you believe it or not? Oh, Li Aochen wanted to refute, but felt his refutation was powerless. As a result, he straightforwardly didn't say anything. Moreover, Luo Haoming paused. His secretive gaze flashed slightly. Moreover what? Li Aochen curiously asked. Moreover before, did you not discover? When Dongfang Xian mentioned the Master of Purgatory City, how Nangong Liuyun's expression was full of confidence in his backing. I have a feeling that Su Luo's relationship with the Master of Purgatory City is certainly not common. Regarding this point, Luo Haoming was also guessing. Why do you say this? How is it that I don't know? Li Aochen was curious. The Master of Purgatory City? Su Luo, that girl's luck couldn't be so good to this degree, right? First it was Nangong Luoyun, then Grandmaster Rongyun, until the end came the Master of Purgatory City? Luo Haoming frowned. Back then my Luo family had an uncle in Purgatory City. He had the fortune of seeing the Master of Purgatory City walking side by side with a devastatingly beautiful woman. And the Master of Purgatory City's face that was built from millennium-old ice revealed a rare smile. Oh, the legendary Master of Purgatory City could actually smile. Li Aochen felt this was unbelievable. But what relationship does this have to do with Su Luo, that loathsome girl? At that time, she still hadn't been born yet, right? But that woman looked a lot like Su Luo. Luo Haoming gave a long sigh. What? Li Aochen cried out in surprise. Yes, it is said they look alike. So Su Luo and that devastatingly beautiful woman must have a deep relationship. As for the Master of Purgatory City over there, Luo Haoming felt an extreme headache. Come on, these old men, all of them were biased and overprotective to an unreasonable degree. They simply didn't act as an example to people. Therefore, you felt that when Dongfang Xian used the Master of Purgatory City to threaten Nangong Luoyun, the reason why Nangong Luoyun was secure in his backing was because of Su Luo? Li Aochen felt he had an extremely bad headache. Yes. Luo Haoming didn't conceal it. Jade Lake's palace and Luoyu Palace had always been interdependent and mutually helpful to each other. They had the firmest alliance. If something bad happened to Jade Lake's Li family, Luoyu Palace wouldn't be much better off. So Luo Haoming would sincerely confide all the secret information in his heart to Li Aochen. Chapter 1658. Win huge prizes. 1. Dongfang Xian and Luo Haoming's relationship was merely on the surface, so Luo Haoming definitely wouldn't tell him too much. Since it was already like this, then before, why did you always make things difficult for Su Luo? Li Aochen kneaded the space between his eyebrows. Before. Luo Haoming repeatedly laughed bitterly. Do you not feel that losing to a miss younger than you can't accept it, right? Adding that the two younger brother and sister both are dead because of her. So I will inevitably be angry and feel unhappy. These words from Luo Haoming made Li Aochen sink into deep contemplation. Li Aochen originally thought that with Grandmaster Rong Yun as Su Luo's backer, this background was already nature-defying. Now she had some relationship with the Master of Purgatory City? Luo Haoming saw Li Aochen's expression was gloomy and unsettled. He couldn't help but sigh. If you want Jade Lake's Li family's glory throughout the ages to continue, then it's best to hand Li Yaoyao over to Su Luo to dispose of otherwise. Brother Luo's words seem a bit of a stretch, that others' drive could extinguish one's might. Moreover, it's somewhat serious. Li Aochen's mouth hooked into a cold, indifferent smile. Su Luo and the Master of Purgatory City's relationship, you are merely guessing at, right? You don't believe it? Luo Haoming's deep sharp eyebrows formed a frown. Li Aochen smilingly waved his hand. Not that I don't believe in Brother Luo. I just don't believe Su Luo has this kind of luck. Luo Haoming didn't expect that his sincerely confiding words would get Li Aochen's disbelief in exchange. He laughed at himself to say, since you don't believe it, then don't believe it. Wait until the day Jade Lake's Li family gets pulled up by the roots, presumably, you would believe it then. These words Li Aochen didn't like to hear. He glared at Luo Haoming. Brother Luo just looks down on Jade Lake Palace so much? It's not that I look down on Jade Lake Palace, rather, I believe Su Luo's background is strong. After all, just Grandmaster Rong Yun alone is able to deter your Jade Lake's Li family. Luo Haoming saw Li Aochen still wished to retort, and he helplessly waved his hand. Following this, if you still continue to go against Su Luo, then we will part ways. After going through Nangong Luyan and Dongfang Xian's matter, Luo Haoming at last really saw things clearly. At that time during the roaming dragon list competition, Dongfang Xian's strength could still suppress Nangong Luyan. But in a flash, Dongfang Xian couldn't block 3 moves from Nangong Luyan. Nangong Liuyun's potential was endless. No one knew what step he would reach in the future. In any case, even if he gave his all, Luo Haoming still wouldn't catch up. This kind of expert, even if they didn't become brothers, he still wouldn't want him as an opponent. Otherwise, he would become the stepping stone on his road to becoming a strong expert or a cannon folder under his hand. Because Luo Haoming's mind was set, from today forward, he would represent Luoyu Palace to let go of the hatred between them and Su Luo. Consequently, he wouldn't go and deliberately make things difficult for her. Li Aochen's brows were tightly knotted. Quite a while later, he coldly said, you should rest assured if she doesn't take the initiative to provoke me, I won't go provoke her. But Luo Haoming's words had already buried a seed deep in Li Aochen's heart. Since Su Luo was so difficult to deal with, then wait until she grew even more. Then wouldn't she be more of a threat to Jade Lake's Li family? Therefore, to indulge an enemy is asking for trouble. Maybe he could. Li Aochen had his head lowered at an angle, so Luo Haoming couldn't see the cold light that flashed through his eyes. Afterwards, the two teams each turned to kill hidden-eyed purple spiders, under Luo Haoming's painstaking effort to maintain a distance, so the two teams didn't clash. And at this time, Dongfang Xian seemed to have completely disappeared. Also, no one seemed to remember this person. 3 days' time passed in an instant. The little wooden house in the forest. At this time, Su Luo and Beichening carried a whole sack of white stones over their shoulders and returned. Chapter 1659. Win huge prizes. 2. Seeing Su Luo's group's large sack, Luo Haoming and Li Aochen's eyes went straight from staring. They both looked at the small bag in their hands. Then they exchanged a glance of dismay. They had a strong urge to cry. This was too unfair. Su Luo didn't know Luo Haoming already had the thought to mend his ways. Su Luo floated them a glance. With a ghost of a smile, she said, "Oh, you guys have a lot of white stones too." Luo Haoming smiled kindly. "Can't be compared to you guys. This time, you guys really have too many. Estimated that there isn't a single hidden-eyed purple spider in the desert anymore." Hearing this, the corner of the white-bearded old grandpa's mouth twitched. When he saw that huge sack in Su Luo's hand, the twitching at the corner of his mouth became more obvious. Su Luo was all smiles as she looked at the white-bearded old grandpa. "Grandpa, can we draw things now?" The white-bearded old grandpa nodded his head while staring distractedly. "Please do as you wish." Finished speaking, he closed his eyes, sinking into a half-sleeping mode. "You guys go first or us?" Su Luo cast a glance at Luo Haoming. She felt somewhat odd before. When Luo Haoming saw her, he would dislike her and frown at her, as if she owed him a debt she couldn't pay off in 8 lifetimes. But this time, seeing him, she could see sincerity and goodwill in his smile. Could this person have been changed by someone? "Whatever Miss Su says will be fine, we don't have any objections." Sure enough, Luo Haoming still seemed good-tempered, smiling very warmly. What a strange person. Su Luo secretly muttered in her heart. Her expression still remained calm as water. Using a "let's discuss it" tone, she said, "How about one person a turn, alternating continuously? This way, no one will take advantage of each other. How about it? Because the more prizes that get drawn, the people that participated later would have a greater chance of drawing an empty prize. So the later one drew, the less fair it was." Luo Haoming, seeing Su Luo like this, also nodded. "This way is good." "Then I won't be polite, we'll go first." Su Luo led the several people to walk towards the prize-drawing machine in a grandiose manner. Su Luo looked at the prize-drawing machine that was wiped down until it was bright and shiny. She placed both palms together in a praying posture and mumbled to herself. 3 days before, when I lifted the luck, it was pretty good. Really hope that day's good luck will continue." After finished praying, Su Luo began to formally draw prizes. After pouring in 100 white stones into the mouth of the machine, Su Luo seriously pressed the start button. Su Luo earnestly gazed at the numbers rolling by. After taking a deep breath, one only heard a bang sound, and the numbers started to stop and become still. Let's see what number our Su Luo drew. Ziyan ran up, looking at the screen of the prize-drawing machine. Su Luo's eyes also had a trace of nervousness, because even she didn't know what she would be able to draw this time. If it was still "thank you for your patronage," Su Luo felt that her face would be embarrassingly big. "Number 98, ha. Luo Luo, your luck really is." Ziyan felt Su Luo's luck really wasn't covered. Just lacked a little bit, only a little bit, was number 99. Fortunately, her luck was slightly better than that and didn't draw "thank you for your patronage." The treasure for number 98 was very simple. It was actually a medicinal pill. Grandmaster level spirit restoration pill? Getting this pill, Su Luo couldn't help but repeatedly smile bitterly. What she didn't lack was medicinal pills. Under the circumstances where she had emperor-ranked medicinal pills, Grandmaster level medicinal pills, to her were already pretty useless. Chapter 1660. Win huge prizes 3, but the first time to open the door for prize drawing. As long as she didn't draw "thank you for your patronage," Su Luo was already pretty happy. Under the agreed-upon rules, both sides each drew once. So Su Luo withdrew to let Luo Haoming's group draw. Luo Haoming muttered to himself for a bit, then gave this chance to Li Aochen. Li Aochen didn't decline, and directly agreed. Now Li Aochen provocatively glanced at Su Luo and coldly smiled. Soon after, he walked to the middle, putting on an act to press down the button. Ziyan's lip curled and said, looking at him, "Just know he won't be able to draw something good." Su Luo smiling said, "You dislike him this much? That Luo Haoming seems okay, but Li Aochen seems even more annoying than before. Worthy of being from Jade Lake's Li family." Just looking at him puts people in a bad mood. Not only didn't Ziyin lower her voice, she even made it louder. Because she just so happened to have seen, just now when Li Aochen provocatively glanced at Su Luo. Li Aochen raised an eyebrow, his cold gaze sweeping over Ziyan's face. His brows coldly tightened. What are you looking at? Never seen a beautiful woman, humph. Ziyan savagely glared back. Beautiful woman? Compared to the person beside you. How could you still be considered a beautiful woman, sneer? Why don't you look in the mirror and see what you look like? Li Aochen's eyes were full of ridicule, mockingly giving a humph. His expression was full of disdain. Hearing this, a burst of anger rushed up Ziyan's heart. She had the urge to rush up, but Su Luo stopped her by grabbing her. She smilingly said, "Isn't Li Yaorao his older sister? She becoming that way, his heart must have anger. Saying several sentences of dissension is only natural. You just act like a magnanimous adult, and don't argue with such a vile character." Although Su Luo was smiling, but the gaze she slanted from the corner of her eyes towards Li Aochen, her heart was unhappy. What is Li Aochen's meaning? He intentionally belittled Ziyan to make her look better. This was absolutely him trying to drive a wedge between them. If Ziyan's nature was a bit worse, then a divide would easily arise between them. A pity Li Aochen had made the wrong calculation about Ziyan's temper. While speaking, Li Aochen had already pressed the stop button. Number 99. Number 99. Number 99. Ziyan watched those numbers rolling continuously, shouting intensely just like the captain of a cheerleading squad. Su Luo felt helpless and that it was laughable at the same time. But now, Li Aochen was enraged by Ziyan till he almost flipped out. You are number 99, your whole family is number 99. Is this young master someone that will draw number 99? Li Aochen angrily pressed down heavily on the stop button. The speed of the rolling numbers became slower. In the end, it slowly stopped. After, it steadily stopped at PFF ha. Number 99 actually is number 99. Li Aochen, you just have this kind of fate, ah. After seeing the final number, Ziyan had both hands at her hips, laughing until her body convulsed. She was much more happier than if she had won. Bang! Li Aochen's fist heavily smashed down. Immediately after, he glared at Ziyan, wishing to rush over and rip her apart. Li Aochen, your own luck is not good. This you can't blame other people. Don't put the blame on other people's head. Su Luo coldly taunted. Humph! Li Aochen angrily slanted her a glance and left that position. My turn, my turn. Seeing Li Aochen leave, Ziyan happily sat on that position. Chapter 1661. Win huge prizes for, you are sure. Su Luo frowned. Ziyan had just made fun of Li Aochen. If she also drew a thank you for your patronage, then wouldn't Li Aochen laugh to death? So Su Luo asked her again. Ziyan lifted her eyes to look towards Li Aochen. At this moment, Li Aochen was glaring at her with ridicule. The corner of Ziyan's mouth hooked up slightly as she provokingly shot him a glance. Soon after, she said to Su Luo, "No problem, my luck will definitely not be worse than his." Su Luo smiled. Luck, this thing was imaginary. It was very hard to say. Since Ziyan insisted, Su Luo naturally wouldn't oppose. As a result, she smiled. Okay, in any case, if the first time you don't hit the jackpot, then we can do it again. We are different from a certain someone. What we don't lack is white stones. That's right. What we don't lack are white stones. Ziyan provocatively swept Li Aochen a glance, whereas the other, panting in rage, turned his face away. As a result, drawing prizes started again. Wait until the stop button was pressed. Ziyan had her eyes closed, hands in prayer as she prayed nonstop. Must by all means, don't be number 99, must not, must not. She didn't want to have the same bad luck as Bai Qining. Don't know how long had passed, Su Luo lightly bumped her shoulder. Then Ziyan returned to her senses. How is it? Did I win? Ziyan still hadn't opened her eyes, only asking Su Luo in a low voice. Su Luo speechlessly sighed. You look for yourself. As a result, Ziyan slowly opened her eyes. When she saw that number, Ziyan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Number 97? How could it be like this, ah? The larger the number, the worse the reward. Just now Su Luo drew number 98. Now she immediately drew number 97? She and Su Luo really were sisters in distress. Ah. Come, number 97 is a blue-colored crystal stone. Su Luo pointed at that blue-colored crystal stone as she said this to Ziyan. Blue-colored crystal stone is also not bad. I really like it. Ziyan clasped the blue-colored crystal stone, provocatively looking towards Liaochen. Humph, what humph? If you have the ability, then don't draw. Thank you for your patronage. Ah. A simple sentence directly stabbed Liaochen's heart. Liaochen gloomily turned his head away. Who told him to draw? Thank you for your patronage. It's no wonder he was despised. Following was Luo Haoming's turn to draw. Luo Haoming smilingly walked up, then smiled towards Su Luo to say, Hope I can borrow some of Miss Su's luck. This time, what number do you want to draw? Su Luo asked curiously. How could I dare to say what number to draw? As long as it's not number 99, it is fine. If I can draw Grandmaster level medicinal pill, it could be considered not having come to secret roaming dragon territory in vain. Luo Haoming said this sincerely. Su Luo's curious gaze swept Luo Haoming from head to toe. Su Luo's perception was very sharp. Before, she could clearly detect the enmity coming from Luo Haoming. But now, she could only sense the good-natured manner coming from Luo Haoming's body. In the end, where did the problem come from? Luo Haoming naturally knew why Su Luo was frowning, but he didn't say anything to lay bare this. He only nodded faintly towards Su Luo. Soon after, he arrived in front of the prize-drawing machine. He didn't deliberately do anything, he just carelessly pressed down the start button. Then a while later he quietly pressed the stop button. When the number stopped rolling Ziyan was so surprised she almost bit off her tongue. Emperor rank blood-clotting pill. Su Luo also felt this was unbelievable. She somewhat speechlessly looked at Luo Haoming's white and long slender finger. How could Luo Haoming's luck be so good? This was his first time drawing, right? Just got up and drew Emperor rank blood-clotting pill. This thing was ranked at number 15. Ah. Chapter 1662. Win huge prizes 5. Number 15 is Emperor rank blood-clotting pill. Bei Qining bit his lower lips tightly, a strong craving to draw for prizes springing up unbidden. Next time is me. I also want to draw prizes. Several times before, he always got thank you for your patronage. It already made his heart throb with pain, wishing he could chop off his hand. But now, seeing Luo Haoming so easily draw the Emperor-ranked blood-clotting pill, Bei Qining could no longer sit still. Emperor-ranked blood-clotting pill, haha, not bad, not bad. Luo Haoming was somewhat disoriented from being smashed by happiness. Originally, he was only hoping for a Grandmaster rank medicinal pill, but now all of a sudden, it jumped to Emperor rank. This pleasant surprise came too fast, taking him quite a while before he could react. Emperor-ranked blood-clotting pill was equivalent to a life. How could Luo Haoming not be happy? This kind of result far exceeded his expectations. Watching Luo Haoming very carefully put away the Emperor-ranked blood-clotting pill, Liaochen's eyes narrowed dangerously. However, his eyes were hanging down, burying all the mood in his eyes. Su Luo caught that cold light flashing through Liaochen's eyes. She couldn't help but secretly break out in a cold sweat on Luo Haoming's behalf. But she didn't have any friendship with Luo Haoming, so she didn't warn him. Besides, Luo Haoming wasn't a white rabbit, he was also a two-faced person. It was more accurate to say that he wouldn't let himself eat a loss. After Luo Haoming left the prize-drawing machine, Bei Qining rushed up happily. My turn, my turn. No one is allowed to snatch it from me. Ziyan patted his head in annoyance. You think Luo Haoming can draw a treasure, and you can also draw one too? Stop losing face, best you come down. Change to let me go, my luck is better than yours. Hearing this, Bei Qining immediately was not happy. Who said? Being worse than you is nothing. Do you think I'm not even good as Luo Haoming? Your luck really isn't as good as his. Ziyan said, as if making a solemn vow. Then I insist on doing it to prove to you. Tell me, on that shelf, what stuff do you like? Whatever you like. This older brother will draw it for you. Bei Qining rolled up his sleeves, as if he was about go all out heroically. Number 9, purple wings. If you can draw this number, I'll even marry you. Ziyan's eyes bent in a smile as she provokingly blinked at him. Okay. This number 9, little grandpa is determined to get it. This will prove how amazing this grandpa is for you little girl to see. Bei Qining seriously pressed down the start button. Su Luo looked at the two arguing like fowls flying and dogs jumping, and she couldn't help think it was laughable. Were they paying attention to the details of the agreement? Were they paying attention? If Bei Qining really drew number 9, then this matter would be really interesting. You draw. I want to see if you can really draw number 9 or not. If you really can draw it, I will marry you. I'll also bring water and pour you tea to be your servant and slave for a lifetime. Ziyan felt. How could he draw number 9 just because he said he would draw number 9? Based on Bei Qinying's bad luck, he should be honored to even draw number 99, let alone to say 9? Dreaming was faster than that. Okay. Today this little grandpa insists on getting number 9. Bei Qinying's anger rushed to his head, unusually excited. One only heard a bang sound, and the rolling numbers started to slow down uniformly. One row after another rolled by. In the end, it stopped spinning in front of a number. Su Luo looked at that number, then looked at Bei Qining. Afterwards, her gaze landed on Ziyan's face. Momentarily, everyone present was quiet. Not a single sound could be heard. So quiet as if the sound of a leaf landing on the ground could be heard clearly. Chapter 1663. After getting what you wished for 1. Number 9. Don't know who loudly cried this out in surprise. Soon after, everyone's gaze were like searchlights as they concentrated on Ziyan's face. Ziyan's entire person seemed to have been struck by lightning as she stood foolishly in place, motionless. She stood there dim-wittedly and didn't return to her senses for a long time. Su Luo was also shocked stupid by this result. She only returned to her senses after hearing that loud cry. Afterwards, she looked foolishly at Ziyan, paying attention to Ziyan's pale face that gradually turned red. In the end, it turned red as a cherry. Su Luo suddenly laughed and loudly said, "Hey, it actually is number 9. Could it be you guys really are a match made in heaven? Good karma from the world. The perfect pair? You guys see, even God's hint is so clear." Oh. Su Luo, you quickly shut up. Ziyan panted with rage while stomping her feet. She awkwardly turned her face away. Right now, she couldn't help but blush. Even her neck was thoroughly red. Ziyan wished she could smash her head with her fist. Just now, when speaking, why did she go mad, leaping up and down? She even said that as long as Bei Qining drew number 9, she would marry him and become his servant or slave. These kind of stupid words. Now he really drew it, what ought she do? Bei Qining, who drew number 9, was also scared foolish by this. He dumbfoundedly looked at the number on the screen, then speechlessly looked at the people howling with laughter around him. Afterwards, he grabbed his hair in embarrassment. How could it be like this? Was his luck really that good? He actually encountered this matter with such low probability? The more Bei Qining thought about it, the more he felt as if the heavens were toying with him. Su Luo unhappily slanted him a glance. How could it be like this? Isn't it good like this? What's so good about it? Bei Qining unhappily rolled his eyes at Su Luo. His gaze landed on Ziyan's body. But now Ziyan had her back to him. But her ears were thoroughly red. Her back was slightly stiff. Now Bei Qining also felt somewhat awkward, not knowing what to do with his hands and feet. These purple wings are more suitable for females. Oh. Su Luo gathered up, in a low voice, kindly reminding him. Bei Qining rubbed the back of his head. He naturally knew it was for females and he couldn't use it himself. But Ziyan being so embarrassed, would she accept it if he gave it to her? Bei Qining thought a bit and summoned up the courage to give it to Ziyan. Ziyan very much didn't want to accept it, but Su Luo was at the side supporting this. Having the purple wings, your speed will soar by a fold. Moreover, you can soar in midair. In the secret roaming dragon territory, it's equivalent to getting a life. Why bother to make it difficult for your lifeline because of embarrassment? Have to say, Su Luo's words really persuaded Ziyan's heart. Ziyan grabbed the purple wings in Bai Qinying's hand. After giving a drop of blood to let it recognize her as master, she draped it on her back. The purple wings' entire body was made from light purple feathers. Draped on Ziyan's body, it gave off a beautiful secluded feeling like a hidden orchid. Ziyan was extremely satisfied with these purple wings. But she couldn't put down her face, as she arrogantly raised her chin. Her face was stiff as she coldly said, "Don't think I took advantage of you. This time, consider it as me owing you a favor. Wait until I draw something good, I'll give it to you." Bai Qinying's neck was very stiff. "Don't need you to give me anything. I must give it." Ziyan snorted twice. Soon after, she pushed Bai Qinying away. "Move aside, this time I'll draw." But Ziyan forgot in her rush to win against Bai Qinying that the opposite side still had Liaochen. "Miss Ziyan, didn't we agree on one side once?" Liaochen took a step forward. A mocking sneer hung at the corner of his mouth. Chapter 1664. After getting what you wished for, too. I forgot. Ziyan knew there was no point in talking to Liaochen, so she waved her hand. "You go then go. Knowing you can only draw a few times, hurry up and finish all your opportunities to draw, so as to avoid the trouble of having your turn and my turn." She wanted to hurry up and draw something good to pay back her debt to Bai Qinying. Being in debt like this caused her heart to feel extremely awkward. She couldn't even lift her head up in front of him. As soon as Ziyan said this, Liaochen's face turned sour, and he sneered at Ziyan. "My luck is better than yours." "Really? Then draw a treasure to let us be envious." Ziyan was very depressed in her heart right now, with Liaochen delivering himself to her door. Then don't blame her for bullying him. Liaochen had an expression of being too lazy to waste words with her. The corner of his mouth hooked into a cold sneer, and started to draw soon after. Don't know if it was because of Ziyan's curse, or because his own luck was bad, he drew "Thank you for your patronage" again. Ziyan immediately smiled. Just this kind of bad luck, still hope to draw something? Liaochen was already annoyed. After hearing her words, he glared at her ferociously. The corner of Ziyan's eyes hooked up, and she spread out her hands to say, "What? You can't draw good stuff, still afraid of people talking about it too? Shut up." Amidst his fury, Liaochen once again took out some white stones. Just now, Ziyan said to let him finish drawing all at once. Originally, Liaochen did not plan to do so, but he was so infuriated by Ziyan, he lifted the bag and with clicking sounds, poured all the white stones inside the machine. Tisk. Hearing the crisp clinking sounds, Ziyan immediately smiled. "I was wondering how many white stones you had. Turns out it can only draw 5 times. 3 whole days, and you only got these many white stones. Still a 10th level expert, whatever." Liaochen's cold eyes glared at Ziyan later. He casually scanned Bai Qinying. "Control your woman." Bai Qinying was attacked for no reason, but when it came to Liaochen and Ziyan, of course, Liaochen was the outsider. Therefore, Bai Qinying snorted coldly and put on a young master's pose. "What's wrong with my woman, to let you criticize? Who do you think you are?" Liaochen was simply infuriated to death at these two. This time, he finally realized that he was alienated from other people, and the opponents were a big group. Whether it be a quarrel or a fight, he would always be at a disadvantage. Once he realized this, Liaochen shut up, because if he continued fighting and the eloquent Su Luo was to enter, he was simply asking for insult. He even saw that Su Luo was eager to try and enter the fight. Liaochen shut up and single-heartedly started to draw. It had to be said, today, Liaochen's luck was bad to the extreme. So bad that others could not bear to see it. Even Ziyan started feeling sympathetic to him. First time, "Thank you for your patronage." Second time, "Thank you for your patronage." Third time, "Thank you for your patronage." Fourth time, "Thank you for your patronage." Fifth time still drawing. Liaochen only had 5 times to draw, but the first 4 times were all "Thank you for your patronage." His belly was filled up with anger from drawing. At this time, his face was ghastly pale with crimson eyes. He was glaring ferociously at the prize screen, wishing he could hit a hole through the screen. It was uncertain what the people around him were thinking, but they all feigned calm. They did not make a sound. Even Ziyin quieted down, showing deep sympathy for Li Aochen's situation. Chapter 1665. After getting what you wished for 3. No matter who it was, a whole 3 days and 3 nights of ignoring exhaustion and fatigue had been spent to seek hidden-eye purple spiders to behead them. With great difficulty, he had obtained 600 white stones, but these 600 white stones would very likely become 4 words. This meant he had been busy for 3 days in vain. How could people endure it? Now was Li Aochen's last chance to draw. Even Ziyin felt that at least he should get a consolation prize. He should be randomly awarded number 96, 95 similar prizes as consolation. But the heavens weren't as kind-hearted as Ziyin. After the results of Li Aochen's last draw came out, when everyone saw that number, they all sighed deeply. Number 99. It was thank you for your patronage again. This meant that these 3 days Li Aochen had worked diligently was in vain. He didn't get a bit of benefit. At least Luo Haoming had already gotten the emperor-ranked blood-clotting pill earlier. Luo Haoming patted Li Aochen's shoulder to comfort him. But Li Aochen's blood-red eyes swept past Luo Haoming, gave a heavy humph and turned his face away. Su Luo, seeing this kind of Li Aochen, couldn't help but secretly shake her head. Li Aochen's temperament wouldn't do. His luck was bad and unable to draw a treasure. Could he blame this matter on Luo Haoming? His behavior right now clearly was jealous that Luo Haoming had drawn the emperor-ranked blood-clotting pill on his first try. Su Luo felt that if Luo Haoming again drew something good, then the temporarily formed alliance between the two would very likely fall apart. Thinking of this, Su Luo smilingly beckoned to Luo Haoming. We have a lot of white stones. Want to continue drawing non-stop, so your luck wouldn't stop. Looks like you also only have 5 more chances to draw. How about you draw first? It's not that Su Luo had a kind heart. She was looking forward to Li Aochen's expression afterwards. Luo Haoming wasn't stupid. He naturally knew Su Luo's thoughts. But what Su Luo said was correct. No one wanted to be interrupted time and time again when drawing prizes. So Luo Haoming agreed on the spot. But what made Su Luo feel disappointed was the following 5 chances to draw. Luo Haoming basically wasted it. Because he was the same as Li Aochen, actually drawing, thank you for your patronage 5 times in a row. That was to say, Luo Haoming also wasted his efforts in vain for these 3 days. But Luo Haoming didn't seem to be affected, and he smilingly waved his hand. Looks like my luck isn't that good. Actually didn't draw anything. Su Luo's gaze swept over Li Aochen's face. Sure enough, the originally angry expression evened out a lot more. Maybe he felt there was someone else that shared his fate, so he wasn't the unluckiest. As a result, his psyche evened out. Su Luo smilingly shook her head. Before, didn't you draw an emperor-ranked blood-clotting pill? Just based on that pill, this time, you entering the secret roaming dragon territory is worth it. Not like a certain someone, didn't even get a bit of good stuff. Li Aochen's expression changed slightly, but Luo Haoming blocked in front of Li Aochen as he smilingly said to Su Luo, Miss Su, following should be you guys' turn. Su Luo shook her head helplessly. How was it that Luo Haoming didn't draw anything else that was good? Otherwise, hostility between him and Li Aochen would occur, so she could very easily bring him over to her team. It was really a pity. Luo Haoming and Li Aochen didn't have white stones. As a result, following was Su Luo's group turn to draw. Before, Ziyin cried and yelled, wanting to draw, want to settle the debt. Su Luo naturally offered up the chance with both hands. She poured a pile of white stones into the machine, enough to let Ziyin draw more than 10 times in a row. Chapter 1666. After getting what you wished for, seeing Su Luo casually pour in so many white stones, Li Aochen and Luo Haoming exchanged a glance that had a complicated expression. This was the difference between a rich person and a poor person. The two of them had painstakingly beheaded hidden-eyed purple spiders in the desert without rest for 3 days and 3 nights. In the end, each only got 600 after splitting up the spoils. But Su Luo, with a clinking sound, poured in a whole sack. It must be at least 1,200, right? It looked very extravagant. Luo Haoming and Li Aochen's eyes met, and both sighed. If they were a person in that group, wouldn't it be good? Now Ziyan started to draw, full of an imposing air. Don't know what the problem was. Ziyan continued Li Aochen and Luo Haoming's bad luck. She actually draw. Thank you for your patronage. Continuously. Towards the end, Ziyan's hand was trembling. She no longer had the heroism from the beginning. 10 times in a row, all of them were thank you for your patronage. Ziyan speechlessly placed her hand over her forehead. How can my luck be so bad? Just now Su Luo had poured in a lot of white stones with a clinking sound. In total, there were 12 chances to draw. Now Ziyan had already wasted 10 tries, equivalent to the total times Luo Haoming and Li Aochen drew for prizes. Seeing Ziyan like this, Su Luo naturally used a gentle tone to comfort. What's wrong with it? Before, didn't I draw thank you for your patronage 10 times in a row? But didn't I win 3 prizes in a row after that? This is the test given by the gods, you must persevere. But isn't this test a bit too long? As long as she thought of the white stones she wasted before, Ziyan's heart would throb with pain. In any case, if the white stones are not used up, then bringing it back is useless. Moreover, we got it from killing hidden-eyed purple spiders. There is no business in it. What do you have to be worried about? Su Luo smilingly comforted. Li Aochen, seeing this, gave a cold sneer. Just now strutting about appearance as if your luck was good enough to draw a top-quality treasure. So, it turned out you are merely like this. Ziyan angrily glared back at Li Aochen. Give this grandmother to shut up. Can't draw a prize and still won't let people say anything? Really interesting. Li Aochen provoked arrogantly. Ziyan slapped the screen in anger. This grandmother will draw it for you to have a good look. Li Aochen proudly raised his chin, full of arrogance, casting sidelong glances at Ziyan. Seeing this, a burst of blood rushed up towards Ziyan's forehead. Full of vigor, she slanted Li Aochen a sideways glance, and fiercely pressed the start key. Then with a bang sound she pressed the stop key. Seeing the number it finally stopped at, Li Aochen burst out in laughter. Number 99, it's number 99 again, ha ha ha. Too funny, I'm laughing to death. Ha ha ha. Ziyan dumbfoundedly looked at that number, then both hands covered her eyes. She was simply too embarrassed to see people. 11 times in a row was all number 99. Was there someone with worse luck than her? Ziyan didn't even have any confidence. Just randomly give her any prizes at the end was okay with her. Su Luo's face was full of sympathy. Bai Qinying's face was also full of sympathy. In the end, Bai Qin patted Ziyan's shoulder in comfort. Don't you still have one more chance? Just draw and see. As long as there is a chance, it is equivalent to having hope. Unlike someone who doesn't even have a chance and is wantonly sneering over there. Don't know if he wants face or not. The last several sentences, Bai Qinying said it while staring at Li Aochen. Li Aochen's lips twitched clearly, he was extremely angry. But he was stopped by Luo Haoming, so he didn't lose his reason and rush up. Chapter 1667. After getting what you wished for 5, Ziyan shook her head unsteadily. She stood up from in front of the prize drawing machine and was about to leave. In any case, I won't be able to draw anything, so may as well not draw anymore. Really cannot continue to lose face. Before Ziyan could leave, Bai Qinying grabbed her, stopping her. He pulled her back to in front of the prize drawing machine. Using an upright tone, he said, "Draw must draw. If you finish drawing all your chances, there is still mine. I'll give you my portion. This grandpa doesn't believe your luck can be bad to that degree." Su Luo also urged. Bai Qinying is right, if you still can't draw anything, I'll give you my portion too. Ziyan's heart was moved, so she bit her teeth and nodded. Then I'll just draw this last chance. If I don't get anything, then I really won't draw again. Finished speaking, Ziyan carefully pressed the start button. Her gaze stared firmly at the numbers that rolled across the screen. These numbers were fast as lightning. Before people could see, they clearly flashed by. If someone was to calculate the number then press the stop button, that would also be futile. What number do you want to draw? Su Luo smilingly asked. Don't know, as long as it's not number 99. The rest, I like them all. Ziyan's hope had already been placed very low. If you could draw number 7, then that would be good. Su Luo looked at the shelf and said in a low tone. Number 7 on the shelf was Lu Guang's sword, second only to Qing Ying and Qi Xiao, an exceptional good sword. Moreover, it was a wind attribute sword which was most suitable for Bei Qining. Bei Qining unhappily humphed. Do you think her luck would be that good? I don't believe it. Su Luo spread out both hands. Who knows, the gods always like to surprise people. Now Ziyan's gaze was staring fixedly at the screen, unblinking. In the end, she took a deep breath, tightly closed her eyes, and afterwards, her finger pressed down heavily on the stop button. One only heard a heavy sound, and the rolling numbers gradually began to slow down. It stopped in the end. When she saw the number it finally stopped at, Su Luo speechlessly rubbed her chin. When did her mouth become so effective? Bei Qining silently looked at that number, then silently looked at Su Luo. He wanted to say something, but didn't know what to say. Only Ziyan, when she saw the number on the screen, her entire person almost jumped up. She shot towards Su Luo with flying speed and gave her a tight bear hug. She encircled Su Luo in her arms and jumped up and down excitedly. Luo Luo! It's not number 99. This time, it really isn't number 99. Wow. That's right. It's not number 99, but rather number 7. The first 11 times of bad luck was just for this time's good fortune. Quickly go pick up the prize. Su Luo laughingly patted Ziyan on the shoulder. Okay. Ziyan fiercely nodded. Afterwards, skipping around, she walked to in front of the shelf. Number 7 is more towards the front. Don't know what good thing it is. While speaking, Ziyan also looked at Li Aochen provocatively. Li Aochen, panting in rage, turned his face away and said in an ice-cold tone, drawing 12 times before getting a treasure. What's so pride-worthy about it? Ziyan unhurriedly retorted back. You don't even have the qualification to draw 12 times. What position do you have to look down upon me? You. Li Aochen was immediately choked off, with nothing to say, because in fact, he didn't have the capital nor qualification to draw 11 times. Even if he was jealous, it was still in vain. Also because of this, Li Aochen's heart was full of more fire. Number 7. Well, Lu Guang's sword Ziyan screeched in surprise. Wind attribute Lu Guang's sword, such a beautiful sword. Chapter 1668. After getting what you wished for 6. After Ziyan got the Lu Guang sword, she lovingly played with it in her hand. Her gaze seemed to be embedded on the sword's body, unable to pull away no matter what. Bei Qining looked at this Lu Guang sword, and his saliva flowed out, wishing he would snatch it and put it in his arms, not allowing anyone to look at it. Wind attribute Lu Guang sword. Wasn't it made specifically for him? When Ziyan lifted her eyes, she saw Bei Qinying's appearance with saliva flowing out. Suddenly, her heart started to be tangled. This Lu Guang sword, although she also liked it, even if she didn't have the attribute, being able to look at it as a display was also okay, but Ziyan lowered her head and saw the purple wings that had recognized her as owner when her blood dripped on it. She silently sighed, then she reluctantly used both hands to hand the Lu Guang sword to Bei Qining. Take it. Really giving it to me? Bei Qining snatched over the Lu Guang sword in one move. He lovingly stroked it while cautiously asking Ziyan. Then what? Ziyan humphed in annoyance. Give you Lu Guang sword. The favor from the purple wings is considered to be finished. Then I won't owe you a favor, do you memorize it? Her purple wings was ranked number 9, while Lu Guang's sword was ranked 7. Speaking of this, it was her who lost on this deal. But don't know what's up with the gods. Bei Qining actually drew the purple wings that was suited to her, while she drew the Lu Guang sword that was suited for Bei Qining. This forced them to exchange prizes. Su Luo looked at the purple wings, then looked at the Lu Guang sword, and suddenly laughed. Why are you laughing? Ziyan saw Su Luo laughing like a thief, and gloomily asked, Are you guys exchanging engagement tokens? Su Luo pointed at Lu Guang's sword, then pointed at Ziyan's purple wings. One gives the other purple wings, the other gifted back Lu Guang's sword. Such precious things, aren't these engagement tokens? Su Luo said this, and Bai Qining and Zi Yan's faces were like burning clouds of fire. What nonsense are you saying? This is by chance, don't you understand by chance? Zi Yan said this loudly and fiercely. Since the gods insist on arranging it like this, what can we do? Zi Yan secretly cursed. Don't know what's wrong with the gods. Wouldn't letting her draw purple wings and Bai Qining draw Lu Guang's sword be better? Why make it so complicated, for what reason? Who knew Su Luo would add very smoothly as she smilingly said. That's right, the gods insist on arranging it like this. Don't know what it's meaning, oh. Su Luo. Zi Yan panted in rage, wanting to thump Su Luo, while the other giggled and ran away. The two laughed while causing a ruckus. The atmosphere was very harmonious. Li Aochen looked at the Lu Guang sword in Bai Qinying's hand, and a strong envy flashed through his eyes. Each of them had all drawn something good, only he alone didn't get any benefit. As long as he recalled this, the envy in Li Aochen's heart was like an ignited raging inferno. Bai Qining and Zi Yan both got what they wanted. As a result, they set aside all the remaining chances to draw for Su Luo. Su Luo asked Nangong Luyan, but Nangong Luyan only smilingly patted her head. In a gentle and spoiling tone he said, I like to watch you play. Su Luo raised her palm-sized little face, and smiled at Nangong Luyan. Okay, I will definitely draw number 1 for you. Number 1 was Dark Element Rules. This series of books is composed of 3 books, ordered as top, middle, and bottom. Not like Su Luo's, that only had the top and bottom 2 books. Now that Nangong Luyan had activated the Dark Element, these series of books were very important to him. Because you simply couldn't find any books that helped in dark element cultivation in this world. Su Luo had asked Master before, but even Grandmaster Rong Yun had shaken his head, expressing he had no way to get one. Chapter 1669, Shocking Results. 1. Su Luo wanted to draw number 1, but how could number 1 be so easily drawn? Wasted 30 chances in a row. Don't say number 1. She couldn't even draw number 11. Su Luo sat on the side disappointed, both hands holding her chin, heaving a deep sigh helplessly. Nangong Luyan smilingly shook his head. It's not important if you don't draw anything. What's there to blame yourself for? Su Luo gloomily looked at the pile of medicinal pills in her hand and speechlessly said, Don't know what's wrong, drawing again and again. If it's not medicinal pills, then it's crystal stones. What kind of bad luck is this? Su Luo gloomily stuffed the pile of medicinal pills into Zi Yan's hand. Luo Haoming and Li Aochen looked at each other in dismay. Among these medicinal pills, the worst was Grandmaster rank. There were even a lot of Emperor-ranked pills. This loathsome girl actually was complaining about it. This truly was comparing with others would anger one to death, okay? Under everyone's admiration, envy and regretful gazes, Su Luo stood straight up and gave herself encouragement. No problem, in any case, I still have 100 chances. Able to draw it is better, but it doesn't matter if you don't draw it. Nangong Liuyun's smile was gentle as water, his eyes full of tender feelings. I know. Su Luo's face spread out into a smile at him, but in her heart, she became even more determined to get the number 1 Dark Element Rules. Once he had that Dark Element Rules, Nangong Liuyun's cultivation would be able to go up another level. It said the dark element attack power was even stronger than the lightning element. Certainly must get that set of cultivation books. Su Luo's eyes narrowed slightly. Afterwards, she placed all her attention on drawing prizes with single-hearted devotion. First time. Thank you for your patronage. Second time. Thank you for your patronage. Third time. Thank you for your patronage. Fourth time. Fifth time. Su Luo looked at her pair of hands. She simply wanted to cry. Just now, she was still able to draw medicinal pills or crystal stones. At least she had a bit of gain. But now, all she was drawing was number 99. Was there no other selection? Was her luck this bad? 15th time. Thank you for your patronage. 25th time. Thank you for your patronage. 35th time. Thank you for your patronage. Su Luo looked at the number 99 on the screen, and her whole face almost turned green. Actually, all were number 99. Did she have a deep hatred with number 99? Could it be that bad luck had started again? Su Luo didn't believe in evil, and let Bai Qining and Ziyan to help her draw. The result was that they also still drew number 99. Su Luo then called Nangong Luyan over to draw. It was still number 99. 65th time. Thank you for your patronage. 75th time. Thank you for your patronage. 85th time. Thank you for your patronage. Su Luo was so angry her lips trembled, and she nearly couldn't breathe. Is this prize drawing machine broken? Otherwise, how could 85 chances in a row all be thank you for your patronage? Su Luo, in a depressed manner, grumbled towards the white-bearded old grandpa. The white-bearded old grandpa rubbed his chin, then slowly shook his head. He gave an accurate answer. It's good. Good fart. Couldn't draw anything. Su Luo ruthlessly gave the machine a kick. The white-bearded old grandpa contentedly stroked his goat beard, and calmly shook his head. Little girl's temper is really big here. The more violent you become, the less likely you will draw anything. Could it be that this old grandpa was reminding her? Su Luo blinked her eyes, then decided to listen to the old grandpa's words, and become a bit gentler. But what made her depressed was that whether she was rough or gentle, the result simply didn't change. 95th time. Thank you for your patronage. 96th time. Thank you for your patronage. Su Luo almost exploded out with curse words. How could there be such bad luck? She drew close to 100 times and there wasn't anything good. Chapter 1670. Shocking results 2. Old Grandpa, your number 1 prize simply has no plan on being drawn out at all. Was it purposefully made to be very hard? Su Luo unhappily asked. The white-bearded old grandpa actually answered. You finally realized it? What? Su Luo opened her eyes wide. There is a probability of 99% to draw the number 99, and the probability to draw number 1 is 1 in 10,000. Ha ha ha. Old Grandpa very happily wiggled his eyebrows at Su Luo. What? Su Luo was simply speechless. How could it be so unfair? Unfair? These are the rules of the game. The white-bearded old grandpa said matter-of-factly, since it was other people that set the rules of the game, took out prizes, then no matter how the game is played, the other side has the final say. Little girl. Wouldn't you say so? Humph. Although Su Luo agreed with the white-bearded old grandpa's words in her heart, she still felt annoyed as she thought about it. A 1 in 10,000 chance. How would she draw the number 1 prize? Now, she had only 4 more chances remaining. Does not matter, keep calm. Nangong Luyan comforted Su Luo in a soft tone. And Su Luo took a deep breath, as she stared gravely at the screen. Her luck had always been good, it could always turn things around at the critical moment. But what about this time? If she had the little divine dragon here, would her luck be better? While Su Luo was thinking of this, she started to draw prizes. Afterwards, the result was still not satisfactory. 97th time. Thank you for your patronage. 98th time. Thank you for your patronage. Su Luo's face was ashen, her eyes were blood red. She was glaring deathly at the screen, both of her hands were shaking, she didn't dare press down the stop button. Nangong Luyan pulled Su Luo's hand to press down on the button. 99th time. Still was thank you for your patronage. Su Luo heavily gasped for breath. She only had one last chance. What to do? At this time, a familiar voice appeared in Su Luo's mind. Do you really want to draw number 1? N. Su Luo nodded her head seriously. Nangong Luyan had done so much for her. She wanted to give him a special gift. Now this one-of-a-kind dark element rules was the perfect gift. Even if it may endanger your life, you won't regret it? Little Stone's voice echoed like a metal drum, full of an ice-cold feeling. Even if it may endanger my life, I won't regret it. Su Luo's voice was exceptionally firm, unprecedentedly persistent. The two people were talking telepathically, so other people thought Su Luo was just staring blankly. They would never have thought she was talking to Little Stone. The Little Stone paused. Only after a while did he say, Since it's like this, then take out the jade piece the venerable divine dragon gave you. Jade piece. Su Luo was at loss for a moment, then obediently took out the jade piece, and asked in a low voice, "What relationship does it have to do with the jade piece? Here is the secret roaming dragon territory. You say, what relationship does it have with the venerable divine dragon?" The little stone speechlessly curled his lips. Oh, Su Luo blinked. Could it be that this secret roaming dragon territory was originally left behind by the venerable divine dragon? The little stone didn't wait until Su Luo's imagination ran wild, before faintly saying, "Pinch the jade piece into pieces, then toss it into the opening of the machine, then make a wish." Only till now did Su Luo understand what little stone meant by saying, "Even if it may endanger your life, you won't regret it?" It turned out that this didn't mean she would encounter danger. Rather, after breaking the jade piece, the agreement that the venerable divine dragon would save her once would be cancelled. Compared to the dark element rules, what would saving her life once be regarded as? Chapter 1671. Shocking Results 3. Thinking of this, a smiling expression appeared at the corner of Su Luo's mouth. She had already finished studying the 3 stages of the great dimensional imprint in this jade piece, so it was very easy for Su Luo to break it into pieces by pinching it. "What are you doing?" Everyone saw Su Luo pinching the jade piece, then tossing the powder into the entrance of the machine. Each and every one of them opened their eyes wide. Even the carefree white-bearded old grandpa with his eyes half closed also opened his eyes wide. He stared fixedly at the jade piece in Su Luo's hand. "Blessing myself to have good luck, ah." After Su Luo tossed the powder in, she patted her hand, smilingly looking at everyone. "After pinching the jade piece into powder, you can get good luck? Who are you trying to fool?" Li Aochen coldly sneered, clearly not believing her. "Say a few words less." Luo Haoming frowned, sweeping a displeased glance at Li Aochen. He had already analyzed the situation thoroughly for him, but Li Aochen would rather die than change. Then his hands were tied. Li Aochen recalled Luo Haoming's words. He coldly humphed and turned his face away. Su Luo smilingly said to Ziyan, "Believe it or not, that this time my hand will directly get number 1? Don't believe." Ziyan very reasonably shook her head. There was no reason that the first 99 times in front, she couldn't draw it, and the last chance she would draw number 1. "Do you believe it or not?" Su Luo high-spiritedly asked Bei Chening. "Absolutely don't believe." Bei Chening firmly shook his head. "Fine, then I'll let you guys see what's called real luck." Su Luo's hand moved with a bang. She pressed the start key. Afterwards, she had her hands together in prayer. Don't know how long had passed before Su Luo slowly opened her eyes. Her gaze swept by everyone's face once, then slowly pressed the stop key. The numbers start to stop rolling. Oh heavens! Number 1 really is number 1. Seeing the numbers that completely stopped, Ziyan shrieked out loud. Her entire person was scared foolish. "What's going on?" Su Luo said number 1. Actually really got number 1? Was there really such a miraculous thing? Momentarily, everyone's gaze focused on Su Luo's body. Everyone all looked at her with a dim-witted gaze, not knowing what to say. Su Luo smilingly said, "Just now didn't I say so? After pinching the jade piece into powder, it would bring me good luck. But you guys just wouldn't believe it. Then, I can only benefit from this for myself." Su Luo's expression was all, having gotten an advantage and still flaunting. Li Aochen's brows pursed deeply, a suspicious gaze sweeping back and forth on Su Luo's face. He took out 100 white-colored stones and a jade piece. "Li Aochen, you actually kept 100 white stones in hand?" Luo Haoming's ice-cold tone sounded. The two of them had formed a group to accomplish tasks, and the white stones they got were split evenly. Now Luo Haoming didn't have any, but Li Aochen actually had 100 white stones? Moreover, what did it mean for him to take out a jade piece? He also wanted to pinch the jade piece to increase his luck? Li Aochen smiled coldly. "These were ones I privately got after risking my life. Don't tell me you want to snatch it from me?" Luo Haoming disheartenedly turned his face away. He became more disappointed in Li Aochen. Just when Li Aochen wanted to walk to the front of the prize drawing machine, he was stopped by Nangong Luyin. "Slow. Nangong Liuyun's words were brief but wouldn't allow dissent. His incomparably strong aura of an expert made Li Aochen automatically stop. What? Still won't let others draw? The corner of Li Aochen's mouth slowly hooked into a sneer. Su Luo, this idiot, did she really believe no one else had any white stones? So she very magnanimously told everyone the secret to drawing a prize. But she would never have thought he had the last chance in his hand. But what Nangong Luyun said after this made Li Aochen despair thoroughly, moreover, jealous till he was crazy. Chapter 1672, Shocking Results 4. Because Nangong Luyun sent a sentence that was light as a feather to Li Aochen. Come and see. Li Aochen didn't understand, so he glanced suspiciously at Nangong Luyun. Then step by step, moved closer to the screen of the prize-drawing machine. At this moment, everyone had surrounded the screen of the prize-drawing machine. Their faces looked as if they had been struck by lightning. They were dumbstruck, rooted to the spot. If an enemy was to arrive now, it would be easy to kill everyone one by one, with one knife cut each. How is this possible? Ziyan muttered to herself, apparently still hadn't woken up from the dream. Isn't this too fortunate? Bai Qinying's eyes were sluggish. For a long time, it was difficult for him to return to his senses. Even Su Luo was rooted to the spot, foolishly staring at the numbers on the screen. Her whole person was dumbfounded. This seems something went wrong somewhere. Then, she looked up with an inquiring expression towards the white-bearded old grandpa. At this time, even the white-bearded old grandpa was stupefied. He rubbed his eyes, then rubbed them again, but the numbers on the screen were still lit up. There wasn't any indication it was about to switch off. What the hell did you do in the end? The white-bearded old grandpa speechlessly looked at Su Luo. Su Luo spread out her hands. I didn't whatever I didn't you old grandpa see it? Then how is it that all the numbers here have lit up? Besides the more than 10 numbers that were already drawn away, the rest of the numbers are all lit up. The old grandpa had lived for a lifetime, and had never seen such an outrageous thing. Clearly, in the beginning only number 1 lit up, but then number 2, number 3, number 4. As long as the items had not previously been drawn, as long as the physical objects were still on the shelf, all of them lit up. What did this mean? In the end, what did this mean? The white-bearded old grandpa found himself powerless from being angered. This represented that all the good things on the shelf, even the entire shelf, would be directly carried away by Su Luo. When Li Aochen saw this fact, he suddenly became rigid from being dumbstruck. Until this moment he finally understood what Nangong Liuyun's words meant. All the treasures were drawn by Su Luo. All the numbers had lit up. Then, what was there for him to draw? What was the use of him having foolishly saved 100 white stones? These stones, when taken outside, were the same as stepping stones on the roadside. No. This is not real. This is definitely not real. There must be a problem with the prize drawing machine. Li Aochen muttered to himself, still in disbelief. Su Luo originally didn't believe it either, because happiness came too abruptly, so abruptly that even she couldn't react. Before, time and time again, it was number 99. Time and time again, it was thank you for your patronage. This kind of drawing almost made her vexed to death. But the last prize drawing told her that all the treasures on this shelf were hers. Isn't this too blessed? People with poor psychological qualities would directly faint, okay? Fortunately, Su Luo's psychological quality was strong enough. Besides a slight change in her expression, everything else about her seemed normal. At the moment, Su Luo was communicating with the little stone in her mind. What the hell is going on? Wasn't it only number 1? The little stone unhappily slanted Su Luo a glance. What did you wish for when you made the wish just now? Su Luo grabbed her hair and silently recalled. I wish that I could get all that I want. Isn't this just it? You must have thought about carrying away the entire shelf. The little stone responded decisively. Chapter 1673, Shocking Results 5. Su Luo swallowed her saliva. I had thought of this, But how was I to know just casually thinking about it would make my dream possible? Isn't this a bit too easy, ah? If I had said to send me to the 21st century, then the venerable divine dragon would really send me back? Can't say for sure, oh. The little stone nodded his head. Hiccup. Su Luo was tangled now. She had someone she was concerned about in this world. Really wasn't as simple as saying she wanted to go back and she would go back. Now, even if a chance to go back was placed in front of her, she wasn't sure how she would choose. Su Luo discarded the messy thoughts in her head and asked the little stone, "You say those things on the shelf, I really can take it all away? Won't you know it if you give it a try?" The little stone spread out both hands. He had always been the type of person to take action first. Okay. Su Luo thought a bit and nodded in agreement. As a result, she slowly walked towards the shelf, step by step. Seeing her walk over, everyone had already automatically withdrawn 3 steps back, leaving an empty path for Su Luo to go through. Su Luo's white slender hand, trembling, extended towards the first box on the shelf. Here was placed the number 1 dark element rules. Because it was 3 books, so it looked kind of thick. Su Luo's hand extended into the mysterious ice fog without the slightest hindrance. She easily took out that thick book of dark element rules. Oh heavens! Really can ah. Ziyan saw this, and she was so excited she shouted and jumped around. Su Luo took a deep breath. Her white as jade fingers extended towards the second box on the shelf. Because having many numbers lit up at the same time had never happened before, so no one knew if the numbers on the prize drawing machine counted or not. Now everyone was staring fixedly at Su Luo's pair of white as jade slender fingers, their gazes unblinkingly fixed on her hand. Su Luo's hand trembled for a split second. She felt as if a stone was pressed down on the top of her heart. The pressure was very large. All of these are yours, take it slowly, don't need to be anxious. Nangong Luyan smilingly soothed her. Su Luo nodded seriously. Soon after, her fingers became a lot steadier. Sure enough, as Su Luo expected, she really got the second treasure, then the third one, the fourth one. Afterwards, under everyone's dull gazes, Su Luo's sleeve swept by and immediately that shelf disappeared from in front of everyone. Where is the shelf? Liaochen's hand held 100 white stones and 1 jade piece, as he asked Su Luo, panting in rage. Before Su Luo could speak, Ziyan coldly sneered. What does the matter of the shelf being there or not have to do with you? All the prizes are gone. You think you can still draw prizes using the prize drawing machine? One sentence almost made Liaochen faint from being choked by anger. Ziyan had the truth and didn't spare people, and continued to sneer. Who told you to harbor bad intentions, leaving those white stones and not drawing? Now you don't have any chance to draw. Keep these white stones and use it as decorative items when you go home. Hearing this, everyone burst out in loud laughter. Liaochen was so angry that his complexion turned red. He almost became hopping mad. At this time the white-bearded old grandpa finally returned to his senses. He looked at Su Luo with a serious expression. That jade piece. Has old grandpa seen it before? Su Luo seriously asked. If I didn't remember it wrongly, on it should be the imprint from the venerable divine dragon, right? The white-bearded old grandpa looked at Su Luo with a complicated expression. Just now he was in a half-asleep and half-awake state. He was almost shaken off his bed by that spirit fluctuation specific to the dragon race. Having such a large spirit force movement, if it wasn't their venerable divine dragon, then who else would it be? Does old grandpa know venerable divine dragon? Su Luo unblinkingly stared at the old grandpa. Chapter 1674. Shocking Results 6. Here is the secret roaming dragon territory, what do you think? The white-bearded old grandpa smiled. You are able to be acquainted with venerable divine dragon. It's your good fortune. But it's a pity this jade piece had already been smashed to pieces. Therefore, the spirit strength of a divine dragon has dissipated. It cannot protect you again. Su Luo's brows slightly wrinkled. In her heart, she somewhat understood what little stone had said. If she had that jade piece, then her safety wouldn't be a problem in this secret roaming dragon territory. Nangong Liuyun's good-looking eyebrows wrinkled from displeasure. His gaze had a hidden coldness as he swept Su Luo a glance, but asked this of the old grandpa. That is for sure. The white-bearded old grandpa felt it was rather a pity. If that jade piece was still not used, in this secret roaming dragon territory, that person would be uninhibited to go everywhere as well. Alas, what a pity. Su Luo lightly coughed twice. What's a pity? Could it be that without the jade piece, I can't be uninhibited and go everywhere in this secret roaming dragon territory? The white-bearded old grandpa looked at Su Luo, and he suddenly smiled. Looking at it carefully, this mist definitely has a linked fate with the dragon race. Even without the jade piece, your body still has a pure breath from the dragon race. Su Luo's heart trembled slightly. She hoped that the white-bearded old grandpa wouldn't detect the contract she signed with the little divine dragon. Otherwise, based on the dragon race's arrogance, very likely, she would be sent flying by a palm strike. As a result, Su Luo hurriedly changed the subject. Old grandpa, afterwards, what path am I to take in the secret roaming dragon territory? Still ask you to give a suggestion. Would that be okay? The white-bearded old grandpa took out a rolled-up sheepskin from his sleeves and handed it to Su Luo. He unhappily rolled his eyes at her. All the treasures were taken away by you, so lacking this map is unnecessary. Take it, with it, at least you will know the road inside the secret roaming dragon territory. The white-bearded old grandpa had given Su Luo a map of the secret roaming dragon territory. Due to the fact that no one had explored the secret territory before, therefore Su Luo's group didn't have a map. Able to find this place was completely accidental. Now the white-bearded old grandpa had given her a map. With regards to them, it couldn't be better. There are a total of 5 challenges in the secret roaming dragon territory. Now this place here is the first challenge. Children, the 4 challenges after this, you guys are on your own. The white-bearded old grandpa said this while his figure gradually became a shadow. Old grandpa, where did you go? Su Luo loudly yelled towards the shadow. All the treasures are gone, where can I go? In the future, if the Miss has the time to take a trip to the dragon race's territory, then I may see you again. He had just finished speaking when the white-bearded old grandpa's shadow completely disappeared. After the white-bearded old grandpa disappeared, Ziyan and Bei Chening, who had just restrained their excitement, in an instant, it exploded out wildly like lava. Luo Luo. So many treasures. We are rich ah. Ziyan circled around Su Luo, bouncing and jumping. Regardless of who, before they couldn't draw anything, but in the end, even carried away the whole thing, they would be excited and unable to control themselves. Luo Luo, I'll first ask for the high-level wind element martial arts. Please don't give it to someone else ah. Bei Chening had already marked that martial arts since earlier. He hurriedly made an agreement with Su Luo in advance. I know, won't give you guys less. But these matters must wait until we go out and then talk about it. This secret roaming dragon territory was full of danger. Who knew what they would encounter? It's comparably safer to put the stuff in her space. Let alone to say. Suddenly, Dongfeng Xian's figure appeared in Su Luo's mind. Dongfeng Xian didn't appear in this time's prize drawing. Based on his temper, how could he not appear? Something hard to imagine must have happened. In the end, what happened to him? Recalling Dongfeng Xian, Su Luo's heart had a slight not-so-good premonition. Chapter 1675. Mystical sounds come to their ears. 1. After passing the first challenge smoothly, everyone set out for the second challenge. Now Su Luo had the map the white-bearded old grandpa had given her. So this time of forging ahead saved a lot of walking on the wrong road. They directly set out towards their destination. This rolled-up sheepskin map was drawn very simply and sloppily. Only a few brush strokes outlined the entire secret roaming dragon territory. The secret roaming dragon territory was in the shape of a rabbit, and now, everyone's location was on top of the rabbit's right ear. The second challenge was in the position of the rabbit's eye. After finding the road, Su Luo rolled up the map and put it away. Li Aochen looked here and there, and didn't even get a glimpse of it. Su Luo rightfully didn't have any favorable opinions toward him. Naturally, she wouldn't give him an opportunity to look at the map. After walking past the gentle hills, A high towering overhanging cliff appeared up front. Su Luo looked at that tall overhanging cliff and said to everyone, "After walking past this overhanging cliff, we'll arrive at the second challenge." This was the first time to explore the secret roaming dragon territory. The treasure they had obtained really pleasantly surprised everyone. Merely the first challenge, Su Luo had already carried away a whole shelf of treasures. Then what about the second challenge, the third challenge? Don't know what other pleasant surprises were waiting for her. Su Luo restrained the curiosity and being happily surprised feeling in her heart. She and Nangong Luyan led everyone to enter the overhanging cliff. This time, they weren't walking on a mountain, rather they entered the passageway below the overhanging cliff. A passageway that was able to allow two people to walk side by side. Inside was pitch dark like black paint. No one was able to predict or imagine the danger inside. Therefore, no one wanted to be the first to go in. As a result, Su Luo and Nangong Luyan went in first. This passageway continuously headed upwards. Very clearly, it was a road that went from the foot of the mountain to the top of the cliff. But this time, they were walking in the belly of the mountain, and had no inkling of the environment outside. After they entered, Su Luo frowned slightly, because she sensed when they first entered the wall in the mountain, all around was still slightly damp. But after going up for about 100 meters, she discovered that the surrounding temperature had started to rise. Su Luo's suspicious gaze looked towards Nangong Luyan, and the latter smiled faintly. "Go ahead and have a look." "Okay." Su Luo gripped Nangong Luyan's hand tightly. The two walked forward shoulder to shoulder. After walking for approximately several thousand meters more, Su Luo sensed the temperature all around had become higher and higher. So she asked Nangong Luyan, "It can't be there is lava underneath here? Really hot? Nangong Luyan gave her an affirmative answer. "If I didn't guess wrongly, it ought to be lava, no doubt. Moreover, now we are getting closer and closer to its range." "You are saying right now we haven't walked within the range of the lava?" Su Luo wiped away the fine sweat on her forehead and asked in a low voice. "It's still too far to be in range." Nangong Luyan's brows wrinkled slightly, because with regards to them, this couldn't be considered good news. Haven't entered the range of the lava and it's this hot. What's to be done when we really enter its range? Su Luo started to worry. Everyone had already walked forward for several thousands of meters after entering this passageway to the belly of the mountain. All around, it had gradually become wider. From originally only fitting two people shoulder to shoulder, now, 4 to 5 people could walk together without a problem. Ziyan hurriedly walked up and asked in a low voice, "What happened? How is it that you guys' expression isn't so good? Don't you feel hot?" Su Luo smiled faintly. "Not bad, not that hot." Ziyan told the truth. Su Luo spread out both hands. "I forgot you are both wind and ice attribute, definitely won't feel hot." Chapter 1676. Mystical sounds came to their ear, too. While walking they chatted, and again advanced several thousand meters. Su Luo speculated that they should be about 2,000 meters high. "When will we reach the end of this passageway? Su Luo lifted her hand to wipe away the sweat on her forehead as she heaved a depressed sigh. Rolling waves of heat, threatening heat, and they still didn't know what was at the end of this passageway. Suddenly, Nangong Luyan's footsteps stopped. "What's wrong?" Su Luo asked in a low voice. Nangong Luyan's complexion suddenly didn't look so good. As a result, Su Luo sensed that the situation was a bit serious. Although she wasn't clear about what exactly happened. "Did you hear a sound?" Nangong Luyan's voice was clear and cold, carrying a large deterrence force. Everyone all shook their head at a loss. Even Li Aochen slowly shook his head. "This matter is somewhat troublesome." Nangong Luyan's face became cold, his tone was apathetic. "What's the matter?" Su Luo pulled on Nangong Luyan's hand. How high was Nangong Luyan's strength? If even he felt it was troublesome, then how thorny must the matter be? Nangong Luyan tore the corner of his robe, and quickly rolled it up. Not explaining, he stuffed it into Su Luo's ears. While doing this, he said, "Following this, no matter what happens, don't take out this plug. Do you remember this?" Su Luo obediently stood there, letting him put it in, but she still asked, "What happened? Why is your face so heavy?" "The second challenge is very troublesome." Nangong Luyan frowned as he coldly said, "Just now there were faint mystical sounds that came to my ear. You guys' strength is too lacking, so none of you discovered it." "Mystical sounds that came to the ear?" Su Luo asked in a daze. This matter can't be what she was imagining, right? I wish it's because I'm overthinking it. Nangong Luyan took a glance at the road in the back, and then looked at the unknown road up ahead. In the end, he still firmly held Su Luo's hand. "Let's go, this road is unavoidable. No matter what, we must go over there." Su Luo nodded, expressing she understood. After everyone entered the secret roaming dragon territory, they could only get out when they passed all the challenges. Otherwise, once 3 months arrived, the secret roaming dragon territory would close. No one knew when the next time it could be opened. Maybe it's in another 100 years. So even knowing there was danger up ahead, everyone braced themselves, knowing they must go up because this was the only road. But after Nangong Liuyun's reminder, now, everyone became more alert. Their whole body was in the state of prepared to fight. No one dared to say half a word of nonsense. Su Luo and Nangong Luyan walked in the front. Ziyan and Beichening walked in the middle. Luo Haoming and Li Aochen brought up the rear. As for Dongfangxian, no one knew where he went. Ever since saying goodbye in the desert before, he seemed to have completely disappeared. Whoosh 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 whoosh, the sound of cold wind blowing through the forest came from the air. It came from far away. It seemed not to be there, giving people an eerie and terrifying feeling. But this sound didn't have any destructive powers. So after the initial fright, afterwards everyone relaxed their frame of mind. Howl, 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 another sound came from behind them. Ziyan's neck lowered as she cowered, surveying their surroundings. She said in a low voice, "How is it that I feel a chill down my neck? It's not only you, I also feel it." Beichening had his waist bent. His pupils were spinning as he gazed all around. In a very low voice he said, "Do you feel the wind blowing from all around, giving people an eerie feeling of having one's hair stand on end?" Beichening had always thought his courage was very big, but now he had a horrible feeling of cold air coming from the soles of his feet. Chapter 1677. Mystical sounds come to their ear 3. There is very real. Ziyan sucked in a deep breath. "You see, the hair on my hands are all standing up." Silence. Su Luo turned her head back, saying this to the two people in a whisper. "Take cloths and plug your ears is a bit better." As a result, Beichening and Ziyan both did what she suggested. Behind them, Luo Haoming and Li Aochen thought a bit, and also followed to make earplugs to block their ears. But as everyone got closer and closer forward, that crying sound that hovered around became clearer and clearer. If it was to say just now, that crying sound came intermittently, now the sound was a lot more clearer. It was as if it was crying by everyone's ears. Boo-hoo, swallow, swallow, weeping mournfully. All of a sudden, not far away came a sharp howling cry. This sound came too quickly, too suddenly, completely lacking any sign. This made Su Luo's whole person jump up. Fortunately, Nangong Luyan was at Su Luo's side. His long arm extended out and pulled Su Luo into his embrace. In a low voice he placated. It's nothing, all of it is to deceive people. It doesn't matter." After Ziyan heard that sharp howl, she directly jumped into Beichening's arms. She grabbed the front of his lapel and shivered. Luo Haoming and Li Aochen almost hugged together. Fortunately, when the two reacted, they were only back to back. Just now, that mournful cry contained a super large spirit force. It was at least above the commander rank, thus scaring these people to this degree. If it was just an ordinary sharp cry, for certain, it wouldn't achieve this kind of result. After stopping for 10 seconds, suddenly, a melodious flute sound slowly rang out. This flute sound was like a sedative, slowly pacifying everyone's original nervous mood. Suddenly, Su Luo felt her own eyelids droop as she gradually became sleepy. At her ear came Nangong Liuyun's loud shouts, but Su Luo only weakly waved her hand as she intermittently said, "So sleepy, don't use noise to wake me up." Nangong Liuyun's eyes narrowed dangerously. His gaze continuously looked all around. Sure enough, it didn't go beyond his expectations. This flute sound was the mystical sound. Although Su Luo's ears was blocked by cloth, very clearly, the effect of the cloth was very small. Because the person that was blowing this flute had strength that was above commander level. Therefore, the result of the flute sound, ordinary people simply couldn't resist. Not only Su Luo, everyone at the scene, except for Nangong Luoyun, had sunk into a sleepy state. Even Nangong Luoyun, if he wasn't biting his tongue, very likely, he would also enter the sleepy state. The flute sound was long and drawn out, giving people the comfortable feeling of bathing in the wind of spring. In a daze, Su Luo entered the land of sweet dreams. In the deep forest, an inseparable figure stood alongside Nangong Luoyun. That miss was very beautiful, icy flesh, jade-like bones, pure and without any sweat. The temperament was exceedingly refined. That face was capable of causing the downfall of cities. That miss's slender jade-like arm was wrapped around Nangong Luoyun's hand. One tall and one short figure seemed so harmonious and happy. Su Luo stood in place in a daze. Looking at the back of the two figures in front of her, her entire person became somewhat distracted. At this time, the two people up ahead turned their heads back. It wasn't other people, it was Nangong Luoyun and Li Yaoyao. Li Yaoyao? Wasn't she pregnant with Dong Fangxian's child? How was it she still had her arms wrapped around Nangong Luoyun's hand? Su Luo was somewhat unable to understand this. Li Yaoyao's extremely beautiful face smiled. She smilingly looked at Su Luo. The tip of her brows rose slightly, carrying a provocative and taunting meaning. "Miss Su, why are you here?" Chapter 1678. Mystical sounds came to their ear for. Su Luo was puzzled. What was she saying? Could it be she shouldn't be here? Just when Su Luo was puzzled, Li Yaoyao went on tiptoe and left a kiss on Nangong Luoyun's white and perfect face. Then, she provocatively glared at Su Luo. "Now why aren't you leaving?" Su Luo felt speechless. She foolishly glared at Nangong Luoyun and coldly smiled. She asked, "What is going on? What's wrong with you?" Nangong Luoyun cast a glance at Su Luo, scoffed at her, then turned his face away. As if looking at her once made him feel dirty. Li Yaoyao was full of smiles as she proudly taunted. "Su Luo, you are now pregnant with Dong Fangxian's child. Third senior brother not killing you is already extremely benevolent. You still came to ask for humiliation? Do you have any shame?" Su Luo's entire person stood foolishly fixed to the spot. What's going on? Wasn't Li Yaoyao the one insulted by Dong Fangxian? How could it be? This is impossible. But when Su Luo lowered her head, she saw a big belly. Immediately, her gaze had alarm as she recalled the memories from that night. Being pressed down under Dong Fangxian's body was Li Yaoyao, but don't know why it had changed to her. No, this isn't real. Su Luo's entire person was about to go insane. Nangong Luoyun intimately hugged Li Yaoyao. He coldly and ruthlessly left a sentence for Su Luo. "This king's biggest regret in this lifetime was knowing you. Now you roll away for this king." Nangong Luoyun held Li Yaoyao's hand. The two was so intimate that nothing came between them. They swaggered off, only leaving Su Luo collapsed to the ground. No, it's not like this. Su Luo's entire person was in a state of collapse. She didn't know what's wrong with this world. Suddenly, Cheng-Ying's sword appeared in Su Luo's hand. Cheng-Ying's sword stabbed towards Li Yaoyao's back at a fast speed. Don't know what's wrong with Li Yaoyao. She actually stopped in place and let herself be killed. The sharp Cheng-Ying's sword ruthlessly stabbed in, but just as Su Luo was pulling out the sword, she found Li Yaoyao had slowly turned her head back. How was it Li Yaoyao? It was clearly her own face. Su Luo immediately went insane. The Cheng-Ying sword crazily chopping in all directions. "Quickly wake up. Wake up." A sharp voice sounded in Su Luo's head. Su Luo only felt a burst of extreme pain from her forehead. So painful that cold sweat directly flowed out. But it was also this sound that made her stop her crazy actions. Now Su Luo looked as if she was soaked in water, dripping with cold sweat from head to toe. There was sweat on her hair, and her bangs stuck to her forehead. Su Luo weakly opened her eyes. Her heart almost jumped faster from being scared by the scene in front of her eyes. Don't know when, everyone had arrived at a platform. Moreover, Su Luo found that now, she was at the edge of an overhanging cliff. Below was rolling hot lava. Su Luo found that if she was to take another step forward, she would directly fall into the rolling lava. So dangerous. Fortunately, the little stone called her awake at the critical moment. Otherwise, after she jumped into the lava, it was certain that her skeleton wouldn't exist and melt into a pond of lava water. After Su Luo finished being glad, she discovered that the current situation was very bad. Because only she was awake, Nangong Luyan, Bai Qining, Ziyan and the others all were in a state of confusion. Each of them waved the weapons in their hand, maybe sending out elemental attacks without distinction, attacking in all directions. Water element, fire element, thunder element, ice element, all kinds of moves broke out non-stop. The exceptionally fierce power would scare people. Su Luo looked at the ice cone on her body and slowly sighed. She could be considered one that was accidentally injured. Chapter 1679. Mystical sounds came to their ears. 5. Watching as Nangong Luyan, step by step, walked towards the precipice, Su Luo was extremely anxious. She extended her hand to pull Nangong Luyan. But what made her fall apart was that Nangong Luyan suddenly shot a lightning bolt towards her. Su Luo subconsciously avoided the attack. But now, Nangong Luyan was a step closer to the precipice. If it was only Nangong Luyan alone, then okay. But what made Su Luo despair was now Bai Qining, Ziyan, Luo Haoming and Liaochen. Every one of them was in a daze, as if sleepwalking up to the precipice. Su Luo knew that if she didn't yell to prevent them, everyone would jump in, because right now, their minds were all confused. Quickly go help them. Just now didn't you wake me up? Su Luo anxiously asked the little stone. Because Su Luo discovered that no matter how she shouted and yelled, their consciousness seemed to be controlled by that mystical sound. No matter what, she couldn't wake them up. They continuously wanted to walk towards that precipice with lava under it. If Su Luo was to pull them to a stop, she would suffer the intense subconscious attack from them. Su Luo was now empty of all plans. The little stone rubbed his own throat, helplessly rolling his eyes. He used a hoarse voice to say, "Just now, in order to wake you up, the spirit force I had accumulated with great difficulty was all used up. I don't have the strength to help." Hearing the little stone's words, Su Luo was even more depressed. Even the little stone couldn't help. Then what was she to do? Su Luo looked to the front and discovered that with one more step, Ziyan was about to jump into the lava. Su Luo jumped from being scared. This lass, normally, never saw her walk so fast. Now was she so eager to rush to be reborn? A golden vine shot out, tightly binding both of Ziyan's legs, making it impossible for her to take another step. Ziyan was like a standing straight zombie, 2 arms stretched out in front of her. Her mouth gave out inarticulate stuffy sounds. Her pair of legs subconsciously tried to take steps forward, but no matter what, she couldn't take that step. Fortunately, she finally was able to stop Ziyan. Su Luo heaved a slow breath of relief in her heart, but before she could finish releasing this breath, in the next instant, she almost couldn't breathe. Because after Ziyan found she couldn't take a step forward, her body actually jumped forward. Su Lu was so depressed she almost cried. Does this stinky girl not know? Throwing her whole body forward was to jump into the lava. Below was fiery scalding lava. Not to mention Ziyan. Even a commander-ranked expert jumping in, he could only survive for a short period of time. Su Luo had no other choice but to order Variant Acacia Tree to pull Ziyan back. She pulled Ziyan back with great difficulty. Su Luo was just planning to press her pressure point, but discovered that no matter how she pressed, Ziyan remained awake. It was as if there was some treasure in the lava that attracted her. She continuously struggled to throw off the green vine. She couldn't struggle free, so began to crawl forward, exceptionally clinging to her desire to move forward. Using the vine to bundle her up is also not a good method. Each and every one of them seems to have gone mad. Su Luo stamped her feet anxiously, but she had no way to stop this. As a result, after people tried to jump into the lava, Su Luo hurriedly commanded the variant acacia tree to bundle up the other party. Fortunately, the variant acacia tree had become a lot stronger after the last change. Bundling up Ziyan and Beichening was easy as pie. But Nangong Luyan was very troublesome. After bundling him for a short while, its vines would be disintegrated by his lightning attack, so it needed to bundle him again. As far as Li Aochen and Luo Haoming the two, Su Luo didn't have the energy to take care of them. But don't know if these two people's luck were very good. They just stood foolishly at the edge of the cliff. They were being blown by the wind, but didn't seem to have any intention of jumping off. Chapter 1680. Mystical sounds came to their ears 6. But on Su Luo's side, every one of them was anxious to be reincarnated as they staked their all to try to jump down, causing Su Luo to be overwhelmed. She almost had no time for anything else. But to continue like this isn't good. Su Luo spread out both hands, complaining to the little stone in her head. Nangong's strength is formidable. The variant acacia tree is already riddled with scars. If we can't think of another way, I estimate I can hold on for less than a stick of incense's time. At that time, if Nangong Luyan still couldn't wake up, Su Luo didn't know what she'd do. Now the best method is to wake them up. Su Luo helplessly spread out her hands. But what to do to wake them up? I don't have a way. The little stone shook his head. Moreover, even if I have a way, you won't be able to do it. Even if there is a 1 in 10,000 possibility, I still want to try it. Quickly say it, what is the method in the end? Hearing that the little stone had a way, Su Luo's eyes immediately shone. She excitedly asked in a loud voice, if we had Tong Tian whistle, maybe there is still a bit of a chance. After muttering for a while to himself, the little stone suddenly heaved a sigh. But Tong Tian whistle has disappeared without a trace a long time ago. No one knows where it is, let alone to say, you are in secret roaming dragon territory. Where are you going to search for it? Tong Tian whistle? Su Luo's voice became louder in an instant. That's right, Tong Tian whistle. It's impossible to have it here. The little stone spread out both hands. Didn't I tell you before? This method is simply impossible to implement. Saying it is to say it in vain. It's not that. Did you just say Tong Tian whistle? Su Luo joyously asked the little stone repeatedly. If the little stone was to appear in front of Su Luo, she would definitely rush up to grab him by the collar. Could it be you have seen it before? Seeing Su Luo's appearance, the little stone was somewhat surprised. Are you stupid? Before in the first challenge, I won an entire shelf of treasures, right? I recall at that time, there was a whistle. I even disdained that it was useless. Now you mention Tong Tian whistle. Why do I feel that name is so familiar? While Su Luo muttered this, she was flipping through her space. A properly arranged shelf was flipped into disorder by her. But very quickly, Su Luo cried out happily. Have a look, is this thing the Tong Tian whistle you are talking about? Now laying in Su Luo's palm was a red whistle. The whistle was in the shape of a rooster, dripping in a blood-red color. The little stone stared in disbelief at that whistle, then speechlessly looked at Su Luo again. In the end he seriously nodded. This girl's luck really is. She could find the Tong Tian whistle even like this. The little stone really admired Su Luo's luck to the point of adulation. Haha, I also feel my luck is super good. Su Luo said excitedly. Now what to do? Is it okay to just casually blow it? How could that be? The little stone couldn't stand seeing Su Luo's wasteful expression. He simply flew out of her space. He snatched that Tong Tian whistle, and stuck out his neck to blow a sharp tune. Really ear-piercing. Su Luo had both hands tightly covering her ears, and stayed a distance of 10 meters away from the little stone. But the Tong Tian whistle was indeed very miraculous. After it gave that ear-piercing sound, the melodious flute sound that made people sleepy was very quickly suppressed. In the end, it only gave a whimpering burst of echoing sounds, then disappeared. After the flute sound disappeared, just now, every one of those people that wanted to jump over the cliff slowly started to wake up. Nangong Luyan was the first one among everyone to wake up. that you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.